Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Progressive American Flat Track, round number 12. It is the Memphis Shades Springfield Mile presented by Law Tigers. I am Scotty Dubler, the voice of American Flat Track. This is opening ceremonies. We'll be getting on the racetrack at 2 p.m. today. We're just not quite ready. We had Mother Nature put a lot of moisture on the racetrack yesterday, so we are scheduled now to get on the racetrack at 2. In the meantime, we've got a lot to fill here at opening ceremonies, a lot of people to talk to, a lot of people to make this event happen. And I'm Scotty Dubler. Let's go down to that victory podium. My good friend, you may have seen him on MTV, on Headbangers Ball. He does all kinds of cool stuff. He is all over the place. He spent 20 years in NASCAR, and he is with us in American Flat Track because he loves the greatest sport in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Rackman.
Thank you so much, Scotty Dubler. You know, I'm walking around. I checked out some great vintage motorcycles earlier today, and I'm talking to a lot of people, and the one word that a lot of people are saying is excitement. There is an electricity, excitement. We already know that Springfield is super fast. I'm thinking today is going to be even faster. I can't wait for the racing to begin. And now we are going to get the opening ceremony started for the Springfield Mile, brought to you by Memphis Shades and your good friends at Law Tigers. And I would like to start off by talking to my pal, the rider of the number 62 in Production Twins, on behalf of Memphis Shades. We've got Dan Bromley, who won the last race. Do we have momentum, even though Peoria is nothing like Springfield? Do we have the momentum going into today?
I think we do. You know, coming here, it's always a great event. Coming here, being a big guy, I'm just going to be as small as I can. We have good momentum coming from the last race of Peoria. You know, the track's a little bit different than this. We have a right-hander in a jump, but that's not going to stop me. I know we have some good bikes under us, and we have some good people around here. It's definitely amazing. And
tell me a little bit about Memphis Shades, because you have an involvement with them.
Yes, I do. You know, going into this year, I didn't really have a plan. Me and my mechanic, Nick, were scratching our heads, and a good friend of mine, Mike Vincent, came on board, and then Nick reached out to Alan at Memphis Shades, and he was like, let's do this. And, you know, Memphis Shades has had a huge culture in racing. They've sponsored riders for over the last 20 years. Back in the day, one of my heroes, Kevin Barnes, raced for them. You had Johnny Murphy ride for him. You have riders that are currently in the pits today that rode for him. You had Sammy Hauber, Corey Texter. They all rode for the great Babe DeMay. And for me to be a part of that culture now is amazing to look back on and see that in the future, I could be a part of this group of people.
And Memphis Shades makes motorcycle windshields, like fairings, right?
Yes, they do. I know their biggest involvement is in with Harley-Davidson and their windshields, and I know they have hopefully broadened off to many other brands. I know a lot of you guys aren't on the Harleys, but the biggest brand they're helping is the Harley-Davidsons, and they have a huge culture in motorcycles, and that's the coolest thing is that the motorcycle industry is supporting the motorcycle racing.
Very cool, and maybe Chris and Beat will talk to you later today. That is the goal, right? Let's give it up for Dan Bromley. I ride motorcycles a real lot every single state, and even when I'm riding alone, I bring the Law Tigers with me. The Law Tigers are motorcycle attorneys. If any of you ride a motorcycle, it's always good to have the Law Tigers with you. And joining us from Law Tigers right now is Mike Finney. And Mike, Law Tigers has always had a big hand in a lot of the stuff with Flat Track, which is so cool.
Yes, you know, anything dealing with riders, we want to be involved in because we're riders ourselves, and we just want to make sure that the riders, we're able to enjoy the races just like we are. We love going fast, but we also love turning left too, like the guys watching today. And with Law Tigers, we always want to be by your side. So if you ever get in motorcycle accidents, call Law Tigers. 1-800-LAW Tigers, that's it. All we do is take care of injured riders.
They're really great people. Check it out. And they also have a tent up here if you're walking by the fan zone. You can go see Mike and the good people at Law Tigers. Thank you, Mike Finney from Law Tigers. And now, from a company that I think you all enjoy quite a bit, from Miller Lite, we have Chris Stein. Chris, it is so great to have Miller Lite a part of this incredible weekend.
Great to be here. Great to be a sponsor for the mile, and we are the hometown guys, so we love being involved with this.
Because Miller Lite isn't that far from here?
Not far at all. We're just about 6 miles down the road, our warehouse is.
Very good. Give it up for Chris Stein from Miller Lite. This is going to be fun. I'd like to bring our Grand Marshal, Johnny Murphy. He rode the national number 20 and is a really good guy. And he's also here on behalf of Memphis Shades and Cozair Harley-Davidson. Very good to see you, and you're pretty excited to be. So what are your duties today?
Well, you know, I guess they want me to go out there and run the fast lap. No, I'm just kidding.
But maybe you could.
No, I'm all done riding motorcycles in a circle. But you know, I'm just here to honor the late Babe DeMay. You know, Memphis Shades was a big part of my race program at times in my career, as well as all of us at the Springfield Mile. So Alan Muller from Memphis Shades is a great guy, and I wanted to come up here and make sure everybody knows that that's an amazing motorcycle windshield, if that's what you're going for, as well as just be around all the wonderful fans at Springfield. It's been a long time since we've been here, and glad to be a part of it.
You know, the Springfield Mile has been going on for a long time, and this would be the track that, like, everybody really wants to win on, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was especially for us, you know, when I was racing out of Decatur, Illinois, we were right down the road, and we did all the stuff with the IMDA, all the pre-race press stuff, and it made a big deal here. But more than anything, Ricky, for me, was always the history behind this race. So many times the championship was decided here. There were so many great races with the hot dogs back in the big, you know, in the 80s and 70s, all the way back to my father-in-law Gary Nixon winning this thing back, you know, in the early days. So the racing here, the guys that have won here are the greats of the sport. I'm completely honored that they'd want to put a title on me like this, but at the same time, just pumped to be here and to see an amazing race today.
Well, it's good to see you. Give it up for Showtime, Johnny Murphy. Okay, I'm going to bring somebody up here that I have never shared the stage with, and I mean this honestly. This guy works so hard. He has become one of my very close friends. I know that I watch what this guy does during the amateur races, and I am in awe of this man, and this is the only time that I'll ever say something nice about him. I want everybody to give it up for my good friend, Scotty Dubler. And the one thing that everybody's saying, they take a look at Scotty and they say, oh, now I see why we don't see him on camera. No, I'm joking, Scotty. This is an incredible weekend.
Dude, I love this place. There's nothing like the Springfield Mile, the world's fastest dirt oval. I've been coming here since I was a little kid. I'm going to come here every year until I'm not here no more. My family comes here from Oklahoma because this is the place to be. It used to be Labor Day and Memorial Day. Now it's just Labor Day every year is the Springfield Mile.
And Johnny mentioned it a little earlier. This used to be a race that if you won this race, you won the championship.
That's right. That's how important this race used to be. Now, of course, you got to run all 16 of the races, but you get points from every race. So this place is super special to a lot of people. The who's who of American Flat Track have won at this place.
I can't ask you any kind of pre-race predictions, right? I won't do that because I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will ask you this. Today is going to be super fast, isn't it?
Yeah, the track, it's going to take a little bit longer to get worked in right now. They're trying to get on the racetrack now at 2. It was 1:30. It's taking a little bit longer to prep the racetrack, but when it's done, it should be super fast. It's smooth right now. It's fast. It's tacky. There's no rubber down. They should be able to go wide open all the way around the track, Ricky.
Was there anything else you wanted to say?
I've got something for some folks standing beside me. All right. I like your new haircut, by the way. That's Ricky Rackman. I think he said I had to try really hard to be his friend. I don't know. I couldn't hear what he's saying over there. So this event has been brought to us by the IMDA for several years. After that, Dave and Tom Arquiso took over. I'd like to bring up our promoters right now. I got a special gift for them. Dave and Tom, come on up. How about we put our hands together to promote the promoters of the Springfield Mile? Tamara, this is it. 40 years for you. Part of 22 for you, 40 for you. I was backwards.
24 for me.
I thought, okay, so over 40 combined. That's what, there we go. So you guys were with the IMDA, and then you guys took it over. So have you been having fun? I know it's the last year, but it's been kind of stressful with the weather, but it's a great day for some racing today.
It sure is. We love this track. We're going to be here every year, but we're going to be sitting up there enjoying it.
I was just getting ready to ask that. Dave, what are you going to do after this year? I mean, you guys going to retire? Are you going traveling? Are you going? What's next?
All of that. First of all, we're going to be in the stands next year with a beer in our hand watching this race. And going to be riding my motorcycle some more and spend more time with the grandkids.
I don't blame you, too. So on behalf of the American Motorcyclists Association, thank you for 40 years of event promotion for you two. And on behalf of the community, American Flat Track, I wanted to come up here to hand this to you guys. You guys are awesome. Enjoy whatever's next for you. And thanks for everything you guys have done for our sport.
And thank you guys, and thank all the fans for coming. And
Yeah, we've got a lot of people to thank, but most of all, thanks to the IMDA for 40 years of doing this. They've done one great job, and mostly I want to thank the fans. You guys stuck with us and went through all this mess, and we're finally going to put on a show for you. And there's so many people that would like to thank, all the volunteers, but there's so many of them. It's just amazing how they just come from all corners of the U.S. and groups and individuals and come together and put this on. So there's too many to mention, but thanks to all.
Thank you, Dave. How about you put your hands together one more time for Dave and Tom Arquiso, the promoters of the world's fastest oval right here at Springfield, Illinois. Thank you very much for everything you've done. Again, we're going to be going on the racetrack at 2 o'clock, and don't forget, tomorrow morning, we're starting early tomorrow morning. This is the earliest I've ever started a race. We're going to do opening ceremonies tomorrow. We're going to pray, we're going to sing, and we're getting on the racetrack just after 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Well, I've got to get back to my tunnel, but let's hand things back over to the man himself, Reverend Ricky Rackman.
Honestly, this guy works so hard. I want everybody to give it up for Scotty Dubler and Dave and Tom. You know, we know that when something happens like rain, which is not happening today, that it's tough for all of us fans, but it's really tough for the promoters, for everybody American Flat Track, and everybody is always working extra hard to do whatever they can to get the race in. Obviously, we're going to get some incredible racing in today, and right now, let's take a look at a video about Springfield.
The way this racetrack has turned out, AJ, is incredible. They can run high, low, middle, anywhere they want. An amazing fight now, but I can barely even count. What are we talking, 8 riders in contention for this right now? The final corner awaits. Look at this pack. Briar Bauman's going to have to use the draft. Mees leads them all, and one of the best races you'll ever see. Jared Mees goes back-to-back at Springfield.
Once again, big thanks to Dave and Tomer that have done such a great job as promoters of the Springfield Mile. And let's look ahead to the future of this historic track. the new promoters for this race, a familiar name. Let's give it up for Jared and Nicole Meese. I want to say something first, that both of you have been in several of the production meetings that we have and are very hands-on and have offered some really, really good advice. And I know you do an incredible job at Lima, and I'll ask you first, Jared, and then we'll talk to Nicole. Why did you decide you wanted to get into the promotion side at Springfield?
Well, it all started with Lima, Ohio, obviously, and we felt that we made it very successful, and it's been successful thanks to our fans and sponsors. And, you know, I mean, the next one on the list that you'd have besides Lima or vice versa, obviously, would be the legendary Springfield Mile. Everybody knows this is the, you know, our Daytona 500. It's our biggest race of the year. Anytime anybody ever thinks of flat track racing, they automatically think of the Springfield Mile. So the shoe fit, you know, as they say, and Tomer and Dave done a phenomenal job with the event. I hope we can, you know, match what they have done. They've done great things with it. We've got a couple ideas as well to keep it spicy, but looking forward to continuing the Springfield Mile legendary history here with all you fans, the current sponsors, and maybe carry on another 44 years.
Now, we know Jared, in addition to being a promoter, is going to be pretty busy racing. So a lot of stuff is going to be done by this lady right here. Have you got anything planned already that you can kind of give us a preview of what we can expect next year at Springfield?
You know, we have a great crew in place at the Lima Half Mile, and we'll probably carry a couple of those people over to help us keep this thing running smooth and put a few new things in place for the fans and just keep them on their toes and happy. You know, our goal is to improve the event each year, and when an event's been running for so long, it's hard to you know, make it even better. But we do have some things in place and in plan, and hopefully we can put it all together and bring you guys something a little extra next year.
Well, we are really excited about the future with Springfield. I've seen some of the things that you two have done with Lima and really looking forward to next year as well. Let's give it up for Jared and Nicole Meese. And right now, let's take a look at the exciting action from Peoria.
Jump in front of the TT specialist and takes the lead. Oh, Janish. The battle's on for the top spot. Here comes Dan Bromley. Bromley up the inside.
Heavy on the brakes.
Dan Bromley will lead him off the final corner and take his first ever Production Twins main event win right here at Thunder Valley. Green flag waving, JD Beach out in front. Battle's heating up for second. Coming up the inside. Yeah. Now Breyer will set his sights on the leader. It's going to get exciting here. JD Beach will bring him out the final corner. He'll win his fourth ever American Flat Track Grand National Championship. Jiggy Dog, your winner at Thunder Valley.
One, two, three, go!
And now let's meet the top five in your Super Twins point standings. Coming home right now in fifth place. He's from Philpott, Kentucky. 2 wins in a row, including winning the Peoria TT. Riding for Essence and Racing Monster Energy on the Yamaha. Number 95, J.D. Beach. Fourth place in the point standings. He comes to us from Mount Gilead, Ohio. 9 top fives this season. Sponsored by Mission Foods, Brew Systems of Dallas, Texas, HCRR, and Maloney Incorporated. Number 20, they call him Captain Chaos, Jared Vanderkoy. Third place in the point standings comes to us from Oxford, Pennsylvania. He's a 2-time Springfield Mile winner. He also has 2 wins here in 2021. Riding for Mission Foods, Brew Systems of Dallas, Texas, Hudson Construction and Roofing and Restoration on the big number 44, the Revolver, Brandon Robinson. sitting second in the point standings out of Sebastian, Florida. 3 wins here in 2021. Sponsored by Indian Motorcycle, Progressive Insurance, S&S Cycle, SDI Racing, and Rogers Racing. The number 9, the Jammer, Jared Mees. And your current points leader coming in, 2-time and defending Grand National Champion. He comes to us from Salinas, California. Sponsored by Indian Motorcycle, Progressive Insurance, and S&S Cycle. The big number 1, Briar Bauman. And let's go back to the victory podium and Ricky Rackman.
Thank you very much, Scotty. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody here at Springfield, please rise and remove your hats for our invocation from Chaplain Jeff Dempsey.
Father God, first we thank you for holding back the rain. You are our defender and deliverer, the one who fights all of our battles and shields us from every death trap that Satan has set before us. We thank you for today, for all your blessings, because you said in all things give thanks. We thank you for what you provide for us each day. Thank you for the gift of life. Be our guide wherever we go. We also want to thank you today for these motorcycles and the riders. We thank you for the sponsors of the Springfield Mile. We ask your blessings on each person that is here today. We pray for their safety of the riders and their bikes will run well. I ask that you bless the riders today as they put on a performance worthy of this track. Father God, we thank you and we give glorify and holy to your holy name. In Jesus' name we believe and pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Chaplain Jeff Dempsey. I don't know how many years she has been doing the national anthem. How many years? 20? No, not 20. 10, 5, 16 years. So she started when she was 3 years old. Always does a great job. Give it up for Brittany Hamill.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's give it up for Brittany Hamill. I want to tell you a couple things before we get the festivities going. They are doing something very cool today that any of you guys that have your guys or girls that have their motorcycles here can take part in. It's called Ride the Mile. You go to the Rookies of 79 tent, you can sign up, and after the race today, you can ride your own motorcycle on the Springfield Mile. Brad Baker's going to be out there riding. James Monaco is going to be out there riding. I'm going to be riding a Bull Taco, which I was just informed shifts on the other side. But you can do it as well. All you got to do is go to the Rookies of 79 tent and sign up. All the money helps injured riders. It's really something cool. I am very excited about this. And if you are one of the people that are partaking in it, you got to meet at the tunnel after the race. Go to Rookies of 79 and get all the information you need to know. And I hope to join you after the race. We are going to ride our motorcycles on the mile, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm going to drop my notes because I got to talk to all of you for just 1 second. You know, in baseball, I guess it's Wrigley Field. In NASCAR, without a doubt, it would be the Daytona 500, right? Well, in American flat track racing, it is the Springfield Mile. Of course, every one of these riders want to win every single race, but every rider wants a Springfield Mile win in their resume. That's a cool thing. So before we get started, I just want to thank all of the fans that showed up here at the Springfield Mile. I want to thank all of the people that are watching us on Facebook Live right now and that are going to be watching us on TrackPass. All of them that have unanimously decided, A, I can't pronounce words, and B, that my haircut is really stupid. So thank you to all the people that are watching us on Facebook Live. I'm telling you right now, I am so excited for the racing. And just to make sure this microphone does work, we are all outside. It's totally sunny. I don't want the cool people to sit down and be quiet. I want every single person out here from Springfield because we are so glad to be racing today. Make some noise for me, Springfield Mile. I said this Friday that of all the races that I go to, I'm not making this up, I like the fans better at the Springfield Mile because I'm walking around checking out all the bikes. So many cool people here. I appreciate everybody showing up and dealing with the weather. We're going to have such a great time. Really excited to get things going. And I bet you're really excited to have me stop talking. So I'll do that right now. We're getting ready for some American flat track racing at the world famous Springfield Mile. And with that, I say, back to you, Scotty.
Thanks a lot, Ricky. That's Ricky Rackman down there having some fun. He loves coming to Springfield. That is no joke. That's all we talked about last night at dinner. So before we move off of opening ceremonies, again, I'd like to pay some condolences to Carl Boom Boom Steinmacher. He did pass away. Normally there are fireworks on the back straightaway during the national anthem at the end of the day. Our thoughts are with the Steinmacher family. Definitely not the same without Boom Boom out here blowing up some fireworks for us. So track prep continues out here at the Springfield Mile. They said we'll be on the racetrack at 2 p.m. It was 1:30, but they're doing their best. They're packing it down. They're almost down to the very bottom of the racetrack where the guardrail is. We'll be on the racetrack, hot track at 2 p.m. In the meantime, let's go back to some highlights from Friday night's doubleheader AFT singles competition. Let's take a look back 2 nights ago.
Bruner on the inside, Kopp on the outside. Around the outside, 15 to the lead is Mikey Rush trying to get his season back in order.
Yeah, Bruner's a man on a mission right now. He's riding super hard. You know, he's not afraid to get aggressive.
Here comes your leader. Dallas Daniels up the inside of Bruner. These guys raced each other growing up. Bruner up the inside. Bruner to the lead. Dallas Daniels up the inside of Mikey Rush. He's got to keep Bruner in his sights.
I mean, you look at him going up the inside. Block pass, takes over the lead momentarily. Look at this.
Up the inside, and he takes Daniels down. Number 2 for the singles. Here we go.
Look at Dallas run up inside of Bruner. Doesn't quite get it.
Now he's out front. Here comes Bruner. They make contact. Bruner makes contact with his own teammate. Dallas is all over the motorcycle coming off the turn number 2. Here comes Dallas Daniels putting on a charge. Up the inside of Bruner going into 3. Mishler going up the inside of Mikey Rush. They make contact right here.
Rush goes down after contact. Last lap here. They come up for Dallas Daniels will win. Bruner is second. That was some of the action from Friday night. The short track was a doubleheader for the AFT singles. Today, we are racing the Mission Super Twins and the AFT Production Twins. When we get on the racetrack, there'll be one group of Mission Super Twins practice, one group of AFT Production Twins practice, a little bit of break to check the racetrack, give the riders and teams a little bit of chance to make some adjustments to the motorcycles. We will come back with 2 rounds of qualifying for each class, Mission Super Twins and our AFT Production Twins. After that, we will have a Mission Super Twins semifinals. There'll be 2 of them. We're shooting for about 3:30 p.m. 2 Mission Super Twins semifinals. After that, 2 AFT Production Twins semifinals, a short break in the action, and we have 2 intermission breaks. So we'll have 2 intermission breaks. After that, we will have a Mission Super Twins Mission Challenge, $5,000 to win. And then added today is the Babe DeMay Memphis Shades Dash for the AFT Production Twins, which pays $5,000. After that, we'll have our 2 main events. One of the guys that are going to be racing for that Babe DeMay Memphis Shades $5,000 is down there with Ricky Rackman. I'm talking about C-Tex, Corey Texter.
Corey Texter, C-Tex, the Bear, putting a hurting on the Production Twins right now. And now we're at the Springfield Mile. I'm thinking that maybe you could just play it safe, just end up on the podium for the rest of the races and you'll clinch a championship. But I think you're probably not the type of guy to ever play it safe. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you know, I learned a lot in 2019 just trying to maintain a points gap, and it didn't work out well. We won the championship, but things got closer at the end, so we're just going to grind it out, man. I want to win races. I want to win Springfield. I've been on the podium here in the Premier class in 2016, but I've sort of struggled here in production, and going into this season, I had this one marked on my calendar as one I really want to do well at. So, no, but that's we're just taking it race by race. So, yeah, just going to try and dig in and try and do as well as we can this weekend.
Thinking this track's going to be really fast today.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting, honestly. It looks really good on the straightaways. The corners look a little tacky and a little choppy. So I know they're working hard to get us out there for the fans, and really appreciate the fans that have stuck out to support the event and come back tomorrow and watch us as well. It really does a lot for the promoter and lets us keep racing every year at these facilities.
So I got a question. When you get on the track, are you going to be taking like a couple laps trying different lines because you're not sure exactly where you're going to be racing because of the conditions?
I've been doing this a long time, and I kind of have a general idea of where we're going to be today. And but no, I'm pretty calculated. I like to check things out, and I've never been one to go out and qualify, go out crazy in qualifying. I'm more of a racer. But with that being said, we don't. Today's qualifying counts for tomorrow too, so we got to work extra hard today because it's extra important during qualifying because we have 2 events that it's going to go off of. So just go out and the plan is to keep attacking. I'm just going to keep attacking. I feel really good, feel confident, and I'm just ready to get it on here today.
Let's give it up for Corey Texter, who is he's got a nice, healthy points lead in the Production Twins. And now I give the mic back over to Scotty Dubler.
Corey Texter coming into today has 5 wins, 9 podiums here. He's got 222 points. The closest man behind him has 175. So Corey Texter definitely needs to just go out there and have some consistent races. And just like he said, he has to keep applying the pressure to these riders that are behind him. And we have a few wild cards coming into today's race. One rider is on his way out. We're going to call him a fly in the ointment because he can get up there and mix it up. He can get up there and win some races to separate the points championship contenders. We're talking about the number 4 rider. He is a former Grand National champion. He's the winningest active rider on the Springfield Mile with 9 wins. And I'd also like to introduce the lady that does all the pit road reporting, all the victory celebrations down there on the podium for NBCSN. Kristen Beat is with my main man, Brian Smith.
Your man, Brian Smith. I like that. All right, well, earlier in the day, I had a chance to check in with Brian and kind of see how he's feeling. And as you would expect, in the first of his last 2 starts here at the Springfield Mile, when he's won 9 times here, he's a former champion in this series, he's getting a little sentimental about making the first of his last 2 starts at the Springfield Mile. Now, we're not going to break out the tissues just yet, but Brian, I mean, I know your heart's got to be feeling a little, you're ready for retirement, but sad to be making the last of your 2 starts here, because Springfield is special to you.
Yeah, I was faking it earlier. I was just kidding. I just want to win and kick everybody's butt. Nope.
Beat Jared Mees one more time?
Yeah, of course. No, it's Springfield is a special place. I appreciate all you guys for sticking through the rain and everybody for tuning in late. I guarantee you to be a good show. So stick around and watch me hopefully school these guys one more time.
Brian, 200 years ago, when you were just a kid, no, I'm just kidding. 30 years ago, actually, he told me the story during the week. You and your dad visited the Springfield Mile to witness what would be your first pro race as a fan. You walked down the tunnel, made your way to the paddock, and felt the magic of the Springfield Mile. Did you ever imagine that your career would move from that moment to becoming a champion to winning 9 times here?
Well, that moment coming here, seeing the pros race the Springfield Mile for the first time, we were going to watch my dad's buddy race, a guy by the name Scott Parker. He's won this place more than anybody. So to come here back in '91, I was 8 years old, walked through that tunnel, and I still remember it like it was yesterday and going, man, this is what I want to do. So not that I ever thought I'd win this race or ever win the Grand National Championship, but that moment set my life in motion. And to come back here 30 years later and say I've won it 9 times, you can tell why this place is special to me.
Brian, a lot of fans at home wondering, who haven't gotten the full explanation or the understanding, your right wrist injury is the predominant factor in your early retirement. And to explain to fans at home something you told me earlier in the week, there's an issue with inflammation. So whenever it's disrupted, if there's any sort of aggravation, it swells up to a point where you can't even twist the throttle. How do you expect to do this weekend? Is that going to be a factor? And why did you choose Sacramento and Springfield for the final 2 rounds?
Well, the easy, quick answer is I chose Springfield and Sacramento because it's a mile track and I've won them both a lot of times. So hopefully it'll be a little easier for me. I got a lot of knowledge of how to win at these tracks. And yeah, the wrist, unfortunately, the best way to sum it up, it's like if you've heard of a lot of people having knee replacements. Everything's worn out in there, so they put new parts in. Unfortunately, they don't make those parts for the wrist just yet. So, hey, maybe next year they'll invent them and I'll make a comeback. We don't know.
Well, Brian, we are looking forward to watching you this weekend at the Springfield Mile. Earlier in the day, too, you had mentioned, I hope if anyone breaks the record today, it's me, so we'll be looking for that as well. Brian, thank you for your time. Scotty, I'm going to toss it back up to you.
Brian Smith, again, the winningest active rider here at the Springfield Mile with 9 wins. Jared Meese has 5. Jake Johnson has 2. Brandon Robinson has 2 out of the current riders. And Carver has 1. Sammy Halbert has 1. So those are the current riders with wins here at the Springfield Mile. The all-time win list, Scotty Parker, just like Brian Smith said, has 14. Chris Carr has 12. Ricky Graham, one of my heroes, has 9. So that's the all-time win list. Right now, Smith is tied with Ricky for 3rd all-time on the wins list here at the Springfield Mile. And I believe Ricky Rackman's caught up with another guy that picked up a couple of wins out here Friday night. He is now 7 points ahead of Max Whale in the singles championship. He's also racing today in the production twins. Ricky Rackman is with Dallas Daniels.
First of all, it's just great to see this guy. You might remember that footage, classic footage, ultra slow motion of Evel Knievel at Caesar's Palace. It gave me that feeling in my stomach, just like when I watched Dallas Daniels at Peoria. My neck hurt from the positions that his neck was put into, which says so much about the American flat track safety innovations they're using. And then at the short track, was involved in another wreck, but then came back and won. And now you're here at the Springfield Mile, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Dallas Daniels, this is the first time you've ever raced on the Springfield Mile.
Yeah, no, the Springfield Mile has a lot of history here, and definitely one of the tracks I've been looking forward to racing. Just really excited to get going here today and just have some fun.
Is this something that you're thinking okay, next will be the production twins? I mean, I know it's a little early to say, but have you thought of 2022 yet?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of talk on what's going to happen, and it all kind of depends on this year, how we end up finishing. Definitely this year's kind of not went the direction we were hoping with some get-offs and some bad finishes and stuff, but we've been able to turn around these last few races and have some good results, and we really want to win that championship again. And, just because it's one of them things that nobody's ever done is win 2 singles championships back-to-back. But, yeah, we're definitely talking about 22, but it just all depends on what happens.
I remember talking to you a couple months ago, and you were saying, I'm trying to ride smarter. I'm not really just going for all the wins right away. And then after talking to you at the short track on Friday, you're just like, I just want to rack up some wins. Has your, goals changed at all?
No, not really. After Peoria, when you're behind the 8-ball, or even really after Pennsylvania when we were that far back, it's just win races. And, when you have a year like last year when everything kind of goes your way and you're kind of the guy and you got all these wins, and you come into this year and there's guys that got 3-4 wins and I only had 1, I want to rack up some wins and be up there with them guys. So right now I'm just focused on winning races and having fun.
The Springfield fans love Dallas Daniels. They make some noise when you're on the track.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of family and friends here in Springfield, and a lot of people that support me, and a lot of people that have been coming here to watch me since I was a little kid. So I definitely heard them, and it was cool to get a win in front of them and have a good night like we did last night.
Yeah, you made a pretty exciting Friday. Let's give it up for Dallas Daniels. And now back to you, my friend Scotty.
Thanks a lot, Ricky. Dallas has got some momentum right now in the singles class. Again, all that's left for the singles is 2 Sacramento miles and then the Charlotte half mile to wrap up the season. A little update. The track is getting close. Obviously, the front straightaway looks really good. They're working on a couple of issues right now in the corners. And again, this is for safety. We want those riders to be as safe as possible so we can put on the best show we can for you fans up there in the stands. And also for you fans watching at home. And again, right before the semifinals, we'll switch on over to TrackPass on NBC Sports Gold. So be sure to start switching on over there, getting ready. So again, we are shooting for 2:15 to 2:30, and so that's our latest update. So again, 2:15 to 2:30. Still got some time to grab yourself a souvenir T-shirt. Check out what's going on in the midway, and we'll be on the racetrack at 2:15 to 2:30. And I love all the motorcycles. Like Ricky said, we walked through the motorcycle alley over here, looked at all kinds of cool motorcycles, but none other than the coolest motorcycle I think is in the pits down there. And Kristen Beat is with Ryan Wells, who gets to throw a leg over it here in just a few moments.
Yeah, thanks, Scotty. You mentioned the coolest bike in the pits. This KTM, 2 years in the work. They worked in their garage, kind of built this KTM for the production twins class. Ryan Wells will be aboard it this week. And now, Ryan, first of all, tell me about this passion project. It's so cool. And how much were you a part of this project in building this bike?
Well, I actually didn't have any part of building it, but Gordy Chaubray's been busting his butt for the past 2 years. And was super excited when he called me to try to test it out for the first time for him on a mile. So I know he's got a lot of passion in it. I know he built the frame up and everything. So everything here is Gordy Chaubray. And yeah, I'm super excited to get out on it.
As a rider, how will you adjust from generally racing the singles bikes to now the production twins, and what differences will you be facing?
Just being on a big track again on a twin's going to be different at first, but I've always believed that was I've meant to be on a twin, so any opportunity I get I'm super excited about. But definitely going from a 450 single to a 790 twin is going to be a big jump right off the bat, but I'm really excited and I can't wait to get going.
So we always talk about mile weight, and did you do any training this week to try to cut back a little bit?
I did a little bit, definitely didn't do as much as I would have if I was riding a 450 here, so hopefully I got a little bit more muscle behind me to throw this thing around and see what we can do.
So can we grab Gordy? Is he available for us to grab him really quick? Okay, we're not going to grab Gordy, but this is such a cool bike. I'll leave you guys with that, and excited to see a KTM in the production twins class, Scotty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see some of these singles riders getting a ride to come up here and race in the production twins class. We talked to Dallas Daniels, and just now we talked to Ryan Wells, who's on that beautiful KTM. That thing is a beautiful motorcycle right there. 94 Ryan Wells will be on board KTM 790. So the biggest thing is trying to get that thing hooked up and drive down the straightaway. So that's, again, some of our singles riders make an appearance down here in the production twins class. Another rider who was scheduled to make an appearance with us earlier this year at the DuQuoin Mile wasn't able to do so because we had some Mother Nature put a halt to that one, but he's down there now with Ricky Rackman. I'm talking about the Wizard. He is part of the FBI, the Fast Boys from Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Carver is with Ricky Rackman.
I can't hear the crowd right now, but I bet people are making some noise, and people are pretty stoked to see this guy here and know that we're going to see some Jeffrey Carver on the track, who almost got a haircut like mine. You did a little shit. What'd you do on there? Shut up. Sort of. He's getting there. He's getting there. It is so good to see you, and Springfield Mile is a pretty important track.
You know, this place is important. The people are important. It's really the whole energy that makes it important. It's not just the racetrack. And I heard you fans up there, and I'm excited for it. You know, if you guys want to support me at all, my mom's got a booth set up outside of Turn 4. You can look for my big flag, and I'm really happy to be back. I'm really happy to have the support, family, friends. I mean, I can't walk anywhere out here without running into people, and it's amazing. And I really, truly appreciate the support.
And we really do miss you in the sport. You know, you go on social media and you hear all the time like, oh, when is Jeffrey Carver coming back? When is Jeffrey Carver coming back? And you are back at the Springfield Mile. When we think of some of the, you know, iconic races, this is the race that everybody wants to win, isn't it?
You know, it's like the, you know, Daytona 500, the Supercross, you know, it's the same thing. And there's something about the Midwest, you know, like love for the Midwest. There's a big reason for that. And there's a lot of heritage here. And, yeah, it's just amazing. You know, I'm really happy to be back and on this track. I mean, this is the only chance you actually get to do this. I was thinking about it last night. Like, there's no place in the world that you can get this type of feeling, get to see this type of energy, and it's almost like we open up a vortex as soon as the bikes get out there. So for me, it's just like I'm ready to release the warrior and just, step back into the ring. It's time.
You mentioned the feeling, and I can't comprehend what it's like. I mean, on the straight, you're sometimes hitting 135, maybe 140. I know in NASCAR on tracks that are so fast like Talladega, you don't get the sensation of speed, but they don't throw it sideways into a turn right away, and no brakes are being used really at Springfield, I think. Does it feel really fast to you?
It can at times, but no, it's all slowed down. It's like, for me, that speed actually lets my mind like get into that zone. Like it like the track speed speeds up. The speed of like this zone is what brings me and connects me perfectly with my brain, where like I don't think everything is so fluent. It's the size, it's the shape of it, it's how symmetrical it is. So for me, it's like it slows down. It's so crazy when you pull in here. Like when I pulled in here the other day in the center, it's like, wow, like we go 35-second lap times around this thing, and you're here, but it's not until I get out there whenever everything really changes.
Well, I'll tell you, I know everybody at Springfield, and myself included, are really happy to see Jeffrey Carver back on the track.
The Wizard to be running number 23. Remember, he took the win here back in 2018. He is one of the fast guys from Illinois, the fast boys from Illinois, the FBI. That's what Donnie Bargeman and J.B. Norris used to call him, so we'll keep that streak going again, FBI, fast boys from Illinois. Another rider that's won out here at the Springfield Mile picked up his first win in quite some time last year, back in 2020. I'm talking about the number 69. Sammy Halbert is with Kristen B.
That's right. Sammy Halbert won this race last year. And Sammy, earlier in the day, we have these production meetings. We all kind of sit back, and generally we don't make bets, but we all kind of pick our favorites. I picked Sammy Halbert. I took him before Ricky. Ricky actually wanted to get you, but I just said it first. So Sammy, you're expected to do well on a track like this. On the miles, you have been so strong in years past. But let's talk about why that is, how efficient you are here. What does it take to race well on a mile?
I mean, for sure it takes a fast bike, and helps to have some experience. Probably doesn't hurt that I'm one of the smaller guys out there. Yeah, you just got to be willing to go fast, I guess. And like I said, the fast bike is really critical here. I mean, today we don't really know what kind of track conditions we're going to get, so it's probably going to be a pretty big rider's track. I'm guessing it's going to be, tacky and rough and stuff like that, which I like. I've done well on tracks like that here before, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Sammy, when you look at a track like this, setup is going to be critical, but when you don't really know what to expect, how do you kind of strategize as far as setup is concerned for that first practice session?
I mean, for us, we're kind of starting with the setup we won with here in the past, but and then just go from there. For sure, the track's going to be different than it was that day, but it's still like a really good base setting. And these FDR 750s just work so well once you get a good base setting. So I think we'll start there and just make some tweaks to it. It's really going to be a big question mark what the track throws at us today. It's probably going to be pretty gnarly in that first practice, but looking forward to it. Like the thrill of riding the Springfield Mile, there's nothing like it. With you're going so fast down the straightaway, and you don't really slow down much for the corner. So it's quite a thrill.
Earlier this season, the foot injury that you sustained took you out of the championship hunt, unfortunately. But when that happens, you now have, 2 Sacramento races, Charlotte, these 2 here at Springfield. You don't really have anything to lose. Does that change your strategy or maybe your mental process moving into a race like this when I don't have a championship to lose, I'm not in the fight? You're really just in a position to win races. I mean, are you a little gutsier? Do you send it more? How does it maybe change your flow?
I don't think it changes that necessarily. Just you don't have the pressure of fighting for a championship. So just going to the race trying to win like you do most races, but just without the pressure of going for a championship. Unfortunately, we want to be there fighting for it. Like last year here, after we won the first day, we were closing down in the points, and so was really hoping to be in that position again this year. But it wasn't the case. Injuries are a part of the sport. I've been fortunate for quite a few years without having any serious injuries. So unfortunately, made a mistake, and that's what happened. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully we can finish the year out strong and get some more wins here and really go into next season with some momentum. That would be the goal.
Sammy, well, best of luck today. Again, Sammy is my bet. I'm putting it out there right now. So, guys in the production truck, I'm the one who picked Sammy.
All right, well, to remember that. See how it unfolds. Again, Sammy Halbert won here last year in 2020. That was his first and only Springfield Mile win last year. Keep your eyes on the 6'9" slamming Sammy Halbert. He'll be out there in the Super Twins. Again, now we just got another update from the track crew. Now we are shooting to be on the racetrack at 2:30. So 2:30 p.m. we'll be on the racetrack. Earlier today we were supposed to be on the racetrack with some Ride the Mile folks, and I know my friend Ricky Rackman's got some good people down there to talk to you about riding the mile with some special folks. Ricky Rackman, who's down there with you?
Well, first I got to give a shout out to Kristen Beat, because Friday her voice was not great. She went and got a shot. She wouldn't talk to anybody, did whatever she could so she sounds great, but she hasn't talked to me on the regular days anyway, so it really was no different. So Scotty just said that we're not going to be on the track until 2:30. He's like, great, we got to find somebody that can talk and talk and talk. So I'm like, come on, Charlie Roberts. He doesn't know how to be brief about anything. However, this time I really want to talk to Charlie Roberts. This time, you got something that is so cool going on today. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on after the race.
We're going to do the Ride the Mile, and it's in memory of Gus Miller, but it's really cool because Brad Baker and this guy right here, James Monaco, are leading the charge today. James is going to be riding at FTR India, and first time since his accident. This is actually his first time back to American Flat Track, and all the monies are going to go to support the injured riders. So people can go to the tent out front of the grandstand, buy your ticket to Ride the Mile, $25. You get a badass $25 t-shirt, and you get to cut a lap on the mile with Brad and James and 250 of your best friends.
I mean, come on. Not that I don't want to keep talking to Char, but since James Monaco happens to be with me right now, I got to ask you, dude. When was the last time you were on any type of motorcycle on a track?
Oh, about last week. I've been practicing ever since Charlie called me about a month ago and kind of planted the bug in my head. He's like, hey, would you like to take a lap around Springfield? And I'm like, well, I better get back on the bike and start kind of getting my feet wet on it. And it's been a bit, but I've been practicing quite a bit at the house, and it'll be fun. I think it's going to be a good time for everybody, and I appreciate everyone showing support and love. And I haven't been back to the races in about a year and a half, so this is definitely a good weekend to come and hang out with everybody and just get back in touch with everybody. It's a big family out here.
It really is, but I'd imagine that it's pretty emotional to be back at the racetrack, right?
Yeah, it's different. My role now is a lot different. I'm not really a part of riding anymore, obviously. So I'm just kind of trying to see where I fit in with this whole deal. And like I said, it's a big family, and it's been tough. It's been tough. It's a lot of accepting, but we're doing the best we can and trying to create some fun memories along the way. They just look a little different now.
We've got a great attitude, and when I found out that I'm going to get to ride on the track with you, with Brad Baker, and from what I've been told, it looks like Jeffrey Carver might come on the track. So you can do this as well. I'm going to be out there on one of Charlie's Bull Tacos. Again, never ridden a bike that shifts on the other side. Actually, I've ridden almost every type of motorcycle, but never ridden a Bull Taco, so I'm very excited about this. People, you're talking about you get a $25 shirt. These shirts are insane. I would say it's more than a $25 shirt. You get to ride your motorcycle today on the Springfield Mile. Monaco's going to be out there, Brad Baker, Jeffrey Carver. Don't anybody get in front of me, because I'm not sure I'll remember where the break is. That'll be very interesting. And again, tell us where we can sign up, because it's such a great cause. It's inexpensive. And, come on, we're going to ride our own bikes on the Springfield Mile.
Out in front of the grandstand at the Rookies 79 tent. Come through the tunnel, come through the tunnel. Follow the signs to the Ride the Mile. There's another Rookies of 79 Law Tigers tent in the infield. You can sign up at either place. People that pay $500 or more ride up front with James, get a free barbecue dinner and special number plates. Special thanks to Dave and Tom Rakisau for making this happen, to American Flat Track always, and to Ricky Rackman, who I'm putting on my motorcycle, the only guy I've ever let ride my Bull Taco.
Wow, thank you. I really am excited. And it would be equally cool if you out there rode with us. So we're going to have a really good time. Go to Rookies of 79 tent. And right now, let's check in with Kristen B.
Thank you so much, Ricky. I've got Briar Bauman with me. And before we start talking nuts and bolts, I got to tell you, this thing going on right here, are you getting tips from Max Whale? Who followed who?
So he technically ended up winning Peoria, so we kind of have to call him the king now. So throughout this last week, I kind of cut it in. Dave Z actually asked me. We did it back in 2019, and he said, hey, let's just change it up a little bit. We've been kind of stale. Like, let's just do something. So, I cut this thing in. It's pretty pathetic compared to his or Wales, but I'm proud to be a part of the team.
Okay, so let's move into this weekend's racing. Springfield Mile, when you look at the points climate, we have some wild cards this weekend. Brian Smith, Jeffrey Carver, these are guys who could easily be in the top 5. Now what happens is if you go on to win that race and those two guys slide in second and third or fourth, that'll give you some sizable breathing room over the rest of the field. Do you put more precedence on a race like this because of that, because you want to skate through the rest of the season, or how does that work for you?
I think I did that in the last 2 years, and unfortunately, if you look at the results the last 3 or 4 rounds, I wasn't very sporty, I guess I would say. So today, I don't really care who's out there. We just kind of have to be the best we can be. We got to win. Like, bottom line, I haven't won that much this year, and I think that we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, and if I could just not focus so much on the last few races and looking at points and stuff like that, and just be the Briar that likes to get it on and race really, really hard for a win, then I think we'll be all right.
So let's talk about the dynamics, body dynamics out on track. Generally, miles celebrate the smaller, more compact rider. However, you found success on a mile, so as a bigger rider, as a taller in stature rider, how do you get small on the bike? Like, take me through what you do. How would you coach a taller rider to do that?
Honestly, I probably got 200 or 300 text messages from Brad Baker over the last couple weeks, just basically making fun of my tuck. I have a terrible tuck, honestly. I complain. I come in, I complain to the guys that my bike is slow, which is probably not. I just have a terrible tuck. So we've just looked at everything and tried to come up with an idea for me to get smaller, because that is an issue for me. I'm a big dude. I'm a big wind sail. And then I look at guys like Brandon Robinson and Bronson, who are just as tall, and they get down out of the wind. I'm just sitting there letting everyone draft me, no problem. So I think that if I could just try and stay a little bit smaller, I don't know if there's an answer to that, but just get out of the wind.
Absolutely. Have you developed draft partners yet? Is that something that you guys talk about in the pits? Do you try to work with another Indian rider? How does that work?
No, not so much. I think we all kind of just do our own thing. If we link up with other guys, we link up with other guys. It just kind of, everyone's so focused on what they're doing that, and setup is so key right now that I think you actually need a little bit of time by yourself on the track to kind of really feel your bike out and learn what it's doing and what you need it to do. So we do end up together. Like, you'll see a ball of us get together, but that's always unintentional, just kind of how it works out at Springfield.
What would it mean to you to take a win at the Springfield Mile?
Everything. It'd be the biggest win of my career. It's the one I want. It's our Indy 500. It's Daytona. It's the biggest race to me ever in flat track history. So if we could win at Springfield, like, all my eggs are in the basket to hopefully win one someday. I don't know when it'll be, but I just want to win at Springfield someday.
Before we go, Max, can I borrow you real quick? I need to get you in the shot really quick. I want to do a stash off. So if you're at home and you're watching the stream, I want you guys to vote on the best stash right now, because we've got Max Whale, who actually started the trend. We're going to put them both on screen together. And Scotty, I'm going to make you play the judge here and jury, because I'm wondering who has the better stash.
I think Max has got more of the western stash. Goes out a little bit wider. It's a little bit darker. Briar's just getting started on here, though. So Max got a little bit longer of the season to get that mustache growing out there. So again, Briar said he's not having the best season. He's trying to get more wins. He has won 3 times this year. He also has 10 top 4 finishes. His worst finish of the season was New York 2, where he got a 6. So if he's not having a good season, his worst finish is a 6. I'd say that's not too bad. Briar is our points leader coming in with 3 wins. Again, 10 top 4s. Jared Meese sitting second, 25 points behind Briar. He also has 3 wins, 9 podiums for Jared. Third in the point standings is Robinson. He has 38 points behind the leader, 2 wins and 6 podiums. And again, after that is Jared Vandekoy, 9 top 5s. That is incredible for Jared Vandekoy. 9 top 5s. He's having a stellar year. Can he break out and win his first ever Springfield Mile? That is Vandekoy right there. JD Beach sitting in 5th spot, and he's on the number 95 Yamaha. He's got 2 wins this season, both at Atlanta and Peoria, both the TT courses. So JD, obviously a TT specialist, but he's not scared to go fast. He goes really well on a road race bike. He should be a factor here today on his Yamaha. So that is the top 5 in the Mission Super Twins. We saw this guy earlier that's down there with Kristen Beat. He is our second place in the point standings. He has won here 5 times. maybe the odds-on favorite to win here today. Kristen, I know we're not supposed to pick riders, but a lot of people were talking about this guy in our production meeting too. Jared Meese is with Kristen B.
Yeah, a lot of conversation about Jared Meese's odds here at the Springfield Mile. He's won here 5 times. I know for a fact, however, Brian Smith making the first of his last 2 starts, something he told me early in the week I thought was very funny. He said, you know, I really want to beat Jared Meese one more time.
Well, that's cool, but he ain't going to beat me today.
I love it. Now, Hayden's down here with us right now, too, by the way. When you move into a mile like this, you know, obviously, you guys are going at tremendous speeds. I've heard you guys top out at 140 at the end of the straightaway. How do you keep things light? Because obviously, when you get on track, it's all business.
Yeah, you know, this is considered to be the fastest mile in the world, and it is. You know, it's a fun track. I love coming here. We've won it 5 times, and, you know, I've won it, I think, like the last 3 out of the 4 events. So I feel like our odds are really good. You know, the track is going to be a little bit different today than normal because all the rain we had yesterday. Track crew's doing the best job they can, which is a great job, and I'm looking to put on a good show.
Jared, when you hear, and I hate to ask you this, but when you hear guys like Brian Smith are calling it a career and they're kind of nearing the end of their legacy within the American flat track paddock, does the thought cross your mind, because that was kind of your graduating class? Brian Smith was a part of that class. You're going to be one of the last guys in that generation of flat trackers left in the flat track paddock.
Yeah, I mean, he's way ahead of his time, I guess. No, yeah, I mean, he's graduating early, so I guess he got better grades than me, right?
I don't know if that's how that works, but you are transitioning into a new role now. You and Nicole not only will be promoting at Lima, but also promoting here at the Springfield Mile. Have you guys been kind of taking notes this weekend, and what drew you to the Springfield Mile of all the events you could have chosen?
Well, I mean, you know, like you said, we've had Lima, and we've been doing it since 2016, and I felt like we've been very successful with it and had made some changes for the better, and I feel like we have it going pretty smooth. We have a great crew there, and I thank them dearly a lot. And, you know, I told Tomra and Dave a long time ago, like, hey, I'm interested in the Springfield Mile when you guys are ready, and at the end of last year, they gave me a call and said, we want to have that talk. So we did some, you know, talking through the winter. I was very skeptical about taking it on for 2021 this year with COVID and everything. But I think that's, you know, hopefully behind us, and as much as it can be, I guess. And we decided to pull the trigger on it. And, I mean, if, you know, the 2 races on the circuit I feel like you'd want to have is Springfield Mile and the Lima Half Mile. You know, Springfield, like I said it earlier, is very legendary. It's our Daytona 500. It's our biggest race of the year. I think when people think of flat track, they definitely think of the Springfield Mile. So looking forward to continuing the legendary role here. Dave and Tomer did a fabulous job. We did take a lot of notes this week. My wife is, you know, working side by side with her as we speak. But for me today, it's time to go racing.
Looking at the points climate, and I spoke with Briar Bauman about this a moment ago, the wild cards play an interesting role in potentially skewing the point structure. So what could happen, hypothetically, say for example you win, and then we have 2 wild cards fill in the 2nd and 3rd place spot, Jeffrey Carver, Brian Smith, someone like Sammy Halbert even rounding out that podium, and Briar is further down the list. That could be a big day in the points for you. I know you're the kind of rider that does the math and looks at those scenarios. So is there more weight on potentially pushing for a win here at the Springfield Mile?
Well, the best thing I could do today is go out there and win. I think there's some really good mile riders as well racing, as you mentioned, with Brian and Jeffrey. I'm really actually looking forward to dicing it up here these last couple weekends with Brian Smith. We've had a huge rivalry and a great friendship. Our career, you know, the friendship was on and off there when we were gunning for that number 1 plate, but you know, I'm going to enjoy racing with him, and you know, it would be awesome if it was 1 and 2 with me winning it and carried on back home.
Give yourself a little breathing room in the points, that's for sure. Scotty?
All right, we're back up here in the booth, and that was Jared Meese. We're going to check in one more time with the winner of the most recent race on the circuit down there in Thunder Valley. JD Beach took his 2nd win of the season, and he is down there with Ricky Rackman.
He didn't remember the bet that I made with JD Beach, and I was like, dude, you win a race, I'll shave my head, and then you have to cut your hair, but JD doesn't remember that part of the bet.
I remember you cutting your hair, but nothing about my hair. My hair, I'm attached to my hair.
I enjoy my hair, so it probably won't get cut until I start losing it.
So I noticed that you've got a heart monitor underneath your shirt. Are you just checking to see what your heart rate is? And how high does your heart rate go when you're out there racing?
That's all top secret data.
It's not really.
No, so we use it so when I'm back home and I train, I know where I need to be at. But also on a hard weekend, I know, okay, maybe I need to take a day easy or 2 days. And so for me, it's a tool for my trainer. But yeah, so like at Peoria, I think my max was 189, and for 14 minutes my average was like 182. So I mean, it's kicking for sure.
If my heart went to 180 in seconds, it would go down to 0. Because a normal heart rate is what?
Well, for me, like my resting is like probably about 40 or so. So I mean, it's pretty low. But it's funny because before the race starts, when I'm sitting on the line, I look down and my heart rate was like 140. And so like for most people, that's real high. And I'm just sitting there doing nothing, and the thing is just going. I was pumped up. I was ready to go.
So I'm thinking, Springfield is a track that you are going faster than any other track, but it's also a track like you get on the straightaways, you're not touching your brakes, you're going around the turns. Would your heart rate be higher or lower than at a track like Peoria?
I wouldn't say higher or lower, but I'm sure it's about the same, because like even though the straightaway's long and the turns are long, you're always fighting the bike, you're always moving around. I mean, if you watch during the mains and stuff, our bikes aren't going smooth. So like you're all, and plus on a track like this, you're constantly thinking like, okay, should I draft here? Should I draft there? Should I draft with 5 laps ago? Should I draft with 3 laps ago? And then all this time, like, you got to make sure you're breathing. So I mean, it's still a lot of work.
We can't wait to see it back out on the track. It's JD Beach, Scotty.
That's JD Beach. I think there was a bet about the haircut, and Ricky got his haircut, so we'll have to see if JD Beach will fulfill the bet and get his haircut too. Absolutely. So we're sitting here, we're talking about mustaches just a few moments ago, and we're comparing Briar Bauman's to Max Wales. And then I just got a text message from a former 3-time champ in our sport, Bubba Schobert, and he said, now that is a stash right there. And I have to agree. Also joining me up in the booth is our Grand Marshal for today, one of my good friends. He was supposed to be commentating at DuQuoin, Illinois, but we had some moisture there too. So Johnny Murphy, Showtime, is the moisture following you to the racetrack, or what's going on?
Man, I've been in more foot-deep water in the last few months than I've ever cared to be. It's we went to DuQuoin and watched the cars floating away down Main Street, and we come to Springfield and saw it happen again yesterday. So
I got to know, are these your bodyguards here? I mean,
yeah.
who you got with you?
I roll. We roll 5 wide now. Anytime we go anywhere.
5 wide.
Me and the.
So you got a minivan?
Actually, the Kisos loaned me the full-size van, and we're knock it off. Go ahead.
Which one is that one? What's
this
the kid's
is
name?
Nixon. Well,
Nixon.
hold on. Hey, when you name a child Nixon Murphy.
That's double trouble.
When he comes out named Nixon James Murphy, you know something's going to go sideways.
So explain why he's Nixon.
So his granddaddy, my beautiful wife's father, is the late Gary Nixon.
The Gary Nixon.
The Gary Nixon.
Number 9.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we had to carry the name on, and we carried it in the first name. But you can see now he's just looking at himself on camera.
Look at his eyes across.
He'll be selling.
Acts just like Gary. Yeah.
Between granddad and now his father, boy. So Carrie Ann noticed something the other day. She says, I've had to listen to 3 generations of motorcycle noises around the house.
Yep.
Her dad was talking about, racing and this and that, and then I would tell her, I was out in the trails.
Let's hear yours.
Mostly everything in my deal is a 2-stroke nowadays.
Oh.
So everything's real throaty.
That almost sounds like a 4-stroke.
Well, it's a real low RPM.
Okay, I just saw that going up the hills and stuff. Yeah.
And then Nixon's got his own deal too. Can you make some motorcycle noises? No.
He's
a motorcycle nut, man.
So that's Nixon. Who's this one
this
right here?
This is Marley.
This one's going to be a model?
Our 8-year-old. Hey, settle down, Douglas.
Look at this shirt. Earl's race team right there.
She knows her history.
Earl
she knows
Hayden.
the deal.
Yep, that's right.
Yep,
I love
we
it.
just went over and saw Tommy right now in the Estes pit, and we talked to that crew. That was
cool.
nice.
So what's her name?
This is Marley.
Marley.
And then we've
Nixon. And on the other side, hiding behind you, this
Anna,
plane
this is
shot.
our princess. She's actually probably comfortable in front of the camera. She's
Really?
gonna be a little.
I think they all
little
are
star.
somehow, Johnny. Where did they get that from you or from Mom?
No, that's all for Mama. That's
They all
all
point
for
at
Mama.
Mom. All right. So Showtime, we just saw some footage earlier during opening ceremonies, and I don't know if you got a chance to see it or not, but there's some good shots of you, a couple of them with your Memphis Shades, leathers on, and I got your Memphis Shades shirt on. But we're honoring Babe DeMay later on today during that Memphis Shades Babe DeMay Dash. $5,000 to win for the Production Twins class.
Is that winner take all?
Yes.
Now that's gonna be a race.
Did you bring your leathers?
No, I don't have anything that fits anymore.
They shrunk, didn't they?
I don't even have.
Look at that guy. Look at that guy.
You know what? Those leathers right there would be so tight I couldn't get them zipped up. That's a.
Hey, what kind of noise does that motorcycle make?
That one in particular?
Yes. some things floating around up there, or what?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. Being that everybody that knows Babe and it was around when he was build bikes and doing the deal. It's the only bike I've ever seen, only guy I've ever seen build a motor. I think I was on the pole for the Springfield Mile,
right.
And the thing had like 8 races on it and was wore smooth out. And everybody'd say, Kevin Varnes, same thing. Kevin Varnes,
right.
After I was had changed onto a different mechanic, Kevin was working with Babe. On the pole for Springfield, had so much oil coming out the breather. The thing had so much blow by. He had to tie a rag around the breather filter to keep it from oiling. And everybody's going, how is this happening? The thing's a rocket ship. That was Babe's deal, man. That guy could put motors together. I think he set them up loose.
And there's Babe DeMay right there. This guy won Grand National races in his career.
Hey.
Went on to be a team owner for Kevin Varnes. Kevin actually got pretty emotional about when we were talking about him there on Friday night. You're bringing out your phone. We're live right now,
hey,
Johnny.
Dude,
what?
I got something for you right here.
All right.
I probably should have got this to you earlier.
Yeah, you
Look
think?
at this. This is our post. This is our thing right here. Look.
All right.
Look.
I don't know how to read.
Okay, let me read it to you.
All right.
Let me see. It's got to turn his head. He tuned for 5 future Hall of Famers before being inducted to the Hall of Fame himself.
Wow.
In 2001. Can you tell me who those 5 guys are?
No.
I got it right here.
I'm sure you do.
Thanks to Alan Muller, I got a fancy little list right here. Kenny Roberts, Mark Brailsford, Corky Keener, Rex Beauchamp, and Dave Sell, the Canadian.
Wow.
Dave Sell.
Wow. That's an impressive top 5 right there. That's not even talking about you or Varnes.
Oh, well, we're has-beens.
Yeah, but you're going to get there one
Schnabel.
day.
None
yeah,
of that,
J.R. Schnabel. Yeah, he rode for him for a long time.
Here's another one. Sammy Halpert won his first national riding for Babe.
Okay.
Kevin Varnes won his last national riding for Babe.
Yeah.
J.R. Schnabel won 8 nationals riding for Babe. What was this other one? Last 20 years, Memphis Shades. Oh, Briar Bauman, Sammy Halpert, Corey Texter, Rob Pearson, Kevin Varnes, and me.
And some guy named Johnny Murphy.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. What a
cool
career!
Facts.
What a career!
That guy was amazing. He was definitely a hoot to travel with too. You never seen
right.
Never seen anything like it.
So Johnny, what's it like? Come back to the Springfield Mile, bringing your kids, bring your family. What's it like?
Oh, it's a circus, man. For me, honestly, I'm so less stressed now trying to keep them from walking out in front of a pit vehicle or
right.
Nixon a minute ago I was over there talking to Briar, and then Carrie Ann and the girls were talking to Shayna, and it was really cool. They're having a nice time, and Nixon walks over to Dave Zanotti and grabs a hold of the number 1 bike and goes, "Can you take me for a ride on your dirt bike?" He's clueless. All he wants is a ride. So
doesn't matter what bike it is.
Looking at the track and seeing the riders and thinking of what they're going through is like, I'm glad I don't have that stress,
right.
But at the same time, man, I gotta watch these kids, man. They're trying to.
So the track has a lot of moisture. Obviously, it looked like it still had moisture before we even got the rain yesterday. So it rained. It got wetter and wetter. They're going to be out there. Be cautious first few laps. We saw Steve Moorhead putting a white stripe at the bottom of the racetrack just to let the riders know it's a little bit spongy down below, right?
Yeah. So typically, and you saw the water truck out too. That was the other thing, because we caught a glimpse of the water truck out there when they wheel pack it, and the dirt underneath a few inches down is soft enough and wet enough that the soil's moving, the soil's pumping. There's moisture down in there, but they've driven on it enough, and the sun's baked the top. The top's actually drying out, so it'll crumble and flake and come apart and turn into bullets. Virtually that stuff turns as hard as bullets, and it won't be consistent racing lines. So they go out there and they're sprinkling water back on the top while they're waiting for that moisture underneath to kind of do what it's going to do.
Yeah, look at all the moisture just sitting in the infield right there on that shot right there. You can see how wet, that's the infield. That was just on the racetrack. Just been told on the radios 5 minutes. They're calling up our first group already. I shouldn't say already. First group is just now being called to the staging area, which is your Mission Super Twins presented by SNS. First Super Twins practice, we'll get 2 sighting laps, and then they'll throw the green, let them drop their hammer if the track is okay. Johnny, when was the last time you raced here?
2007, I believe, on Memorial Day 2007. I ended up having a bike problem in a heat race and didn't get to finish. But you know, we were fairly competitive at Springfield through the years, but I think on a day like today with moisture down in the dirt was when it was the most exciting, because you knew you could ride as hard as you needed to ride. You didn't have to follow the leader. You didn't have to play the cat and mouse game. You could get out there and get it done on a fast track. And we're hoping to see a lot of that today, where with this moisture being everywhere, we'll find some hot dogs up there running high.
And with the track wet like this, probably no tire wear, probably stack on as much tear ups as you can. When you get pelted with that dirt in front of you, from the bike in front of you, can you compare it to Lima? Is it a different feeling? What does it feel like going, you know, $140 on the straightaways and dirt coming off that tire in front of you?
Well, the chunks are bigger and harder than at Lima. Less prevalent, but bigger and harder, and it'll be patchy here and there. And plus, you're going a lot faster. So that stuff will really hurts when it hits you. But most of the time, you know, it's not going to damage your shield and like poke an eye out. So you just take it. You know, you just take the spray and go on with it, whatever the shrapnel is coming at you.
There's a shot from, looks like, high up above, and that's turn number 1. You can see the Moorhead has painted those white dotted lines on the bottom, suggesting to the riders to stay up there above that area. So it must be very wet down there. Johnny, as the track dries out, do you think they'll possibly move down there later today to chase the moisture?
Oh, absolutely. What I think, I mean, what typically would happen, and what I remember, and again, it's hard to say how much chemical they were able to get down, you know, if not super current, so I don't even know if they're still using the calcium chloride, but depending on how much chemical they actually got to retain in the dirt through the rain and all that, if they got any down this morning, as those chunks come up, Scotty, the racing line's going to move around. You know, at first, if those chunks stay moist, you can use those for a grip or a little bit of fluff. If those things get dry, they're going to need to abandon that altogether. It's going to allow some creative lines. I'm thinking a guy like Jeffrey Carver, right? Jeffrey's riding today, right? If I'm not mistaken. So he can come out. He's got nothing to lose. He can try some one-off lines, some stuff nobody else is trying. Find moisture down there on the bottom. Chase it all the way to the fence. Do some stuff that not everybody else is doing.
Kind of like what Kevin Atherton would do back when you were racing, right?
That's exactly right.
Go to the high line, go to the hay bales.
Try something that nobody else is trying. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that today. And if this first practice tells us anything, it's either going to turn into a wide open, you know, 4-wide deal, or it's going to be a real technical search for what's working where nobody else is, kind of a thing. So we're going to find out shortly.
Can you stick around for at least one round of practice, or do you got to go back and pay the babysitters, or what do you think? I mean,
no,
do you have a built-in
here,
babysitter, right?
Yeah, I got well.
Well, she's taking them.
She calls it parenting. You know, I said, hey, watch your kids. She says it's parenting.
Parenting. So you really have a minivan?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a minivan and a big one. I got a small one and a big one. 2 white vans.
So a race van?
Oh, it's a Sprinter. It's a dirt bike van now.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
We just wheelie in and out of that thing, you know. We don't mess around.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you're so relaxed. You're so calm right now. But you'll come into Springfield, when you put your helmet on, it's a whole different ballgame.
You know, I always liked Springfield because it was as close to a home race as I was going to get. But I talked to a couple of these guys today. I went, you know, these kids. I call it their kids.
Dallas,
yeah,
they're half your age.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Dallas told me, Dallas's dad was a friend of mine, and Nick Daniels, and Nick says, so what's it mean to be Grand Marshal? And I kind of hesitated. He goes, it means you're old.
Exactly.
Dallas said that. I said, you little punk. It was like, he's right, man. I'm just an old, washed-up guy. Getting to enjoy the races, though.
Absolutely. You've been watching. Do you keep up with American Flat Track? I mean, I know you've moved from California to Idaho, busy with work, but do you get to keep up with AFT at all?
Yeah, my kids love it. My wife loves it.
Any of them going to race?
I don't know. I'm not going to push it. I hope they learn how to ride a motorcycle really well before they do anything else. You know,
right.
Teach them the fundamentals and everything. But you know, we keep up with the kids. I'm a relationship guy. You know, like I said, I help. Nick Daniels helped me when I was kind of last few years of my career. James Hart, who works for Dallas, you know, so I'm connected with him. I rode a lot with Tommy Hayden back in those days, and Tommy's over there. So all the mechanics in that whole squad, you know, I've been around him at some point. So I was over there just connected with those guys. Dave Zanotti, another guy, just really loving on seeing these guys out there doing a good job. So I keep up with the people because of the experiences I've shared with them. That, you know, if I don't know the guy, I don't have a horse in the race.
For the people that don't know, that are maybe just fans that don't get to spend every weekend in the pit area, it is a family. I've always said that from the moment I've been involved into the family, and it is just a big family.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you spend every Saturday or Sunday or both, you know, with the same people doing the same thing, working towards the same goal, which for us was always just trying to make flat track cool, you know, trying to get flat track out there, working towards the same goal always. And then I was gone for 15 years, so now we're just back trying to do the same thing again, or you know, catching up with these guys. And there's another one. Look at all these screens here, Scotty. Kevin Varnes, you know, I really want to see Ryan Varnes snap his unlucky streak and make something happen because I know he's hungry.
And he won here last year, so he knows his way around the track in the Production Twins class.
There you go.
So they are firing up the engines. Race fans, thank you so much for your patience. I know we had to just work on that racetrack for just a little bit, and it's definitely going to be worth the wait for sure. So they're firing them up right now. We're going to try to get a look at the ugly tuck is what Briar Bauman called it. Number 1 will lead him out, Briar Bauman. Number 9, Jared Meese. 44, Brandon Robinson. 20, Jared Vandekoy running Euro number. 95, J.D. Beach. 37, Bronson Bauman. 67, Davis Fisher. 92 is Brandon Price. 36, Kobe Carlisle. 27 is Bugs Pearson. 69, Sammy Halbert. 43, James Rispoli. 4, Brian Smith. 71, Pat Buchanan. 59, Hayden Gilman. The 23, the Wizard, Jeffrey Carver. Here we go, Johnny. What do we expect on this first lap?
Well, you can see they're going to take it easy a little bit, just get an eye on it.
Meese goes up a little bit higher line right away.
I suspect they're going to be running. They're going to be running mid to high. They're not going to get down too low, I don't believe.
Of course, Carver puts the front wheel up in the air. That's always the funnest thing to do when you come out onto the racetrack. Just kick that front wheel up, right?
I think it's like a salute to the fans, or hey, thanks guys. I want to let you know I love you and I thank you for being here. I think that was always my thought. Like Ricky Graham, I remember seeing.
Oh my gosh.
He'd always come out and ride that big old wheelie all the way out to the first turn in practice.
Down the front straight we go. Again, one more yellow flag, 2 laps under caution. You can see it's already dry in some spots, but it's still a little bit soft in others. Meese is looking a little bit higher up the racetrack. Briar's right there on the very bottom, running right along the, what do you call it, the dotted white line, just like you have on the hot line.
Yeah, the chalk line. That's just a reference point as to where the wet spot is, probably. And of course, he's making me look bad. He's out there running on the bottom right away. You know, look, they're just trying to find like the smoothest way around to get consistent right now, and probably buff in a tire for one. You know, if it's anything that he used to do, go out there first practice when the track's green, buff in a tire.
So Briar said his tuck is one of the ugliest tucks he's got. He said Brad Baker texted him over 200 times to try to tell him to get low, like the old announcers would say, get below the paint. So you explain what he's trying to do, and tell me about Briar's tuck.
Well, he's got a lot of arms and legs going on, okay? So he's running out of space right now. He knows that the guys that he's getting beat by on the miles are shorter than him, and if he starts looking at pictures, probably sounds like Brad's sending pictures. They're tucking better than he is. You could always look at a picture of the guy's mile tuck and know how bad he wanted to win.
Try to get under the paint, right?
My theory is if you can see the guy's face shield, he don't want to win that bad.
Wow.
You know?
So you're just going by, just hopefully you know where the turn is. That's when you crank it off to the left. We're taking a look back at the number 9, Jared Meese, who is the second winningest active rider out there on the number 9 bike. Brandon Robinson goes to the top spot, 37.333. Just as I say that, Sammy Albert's dropping the hammer, 37.167. I don't think they're scared one bit.
Well, it looks like they're getting comfortable with this race surface.
I see rubber already.
Well, now they've been trying to dry the thing out and get the water out of it, so it's hard packed. But see the parts, the chunks coming up. Every place there's a chunk, that's traction. It's inconsistent traction, but that's traction. So if you'll see these guys try to get their corner finished and use those spots. If they're not going to miss them,
they'll actually go for those spots.
They'll actually move, you know, and not trying to turn over one of those spots, but they'll be trying to get grip right there, because you know when you're hitting that, the bike's gonna lunge forward.
With so much moisture, are they going to use their left foot? It looks like they're maybe dabbling it a little bit. You don't really want to use it. It's not quite touching the ground.
No, you don't want that thing anywhere near those holes. Those wet spots that grab a steel shoe in a heartbeat. So.
Sammy Halbert right there on the 69. He won here last year, his first ever Springfield Mile win, but then the next day pulled off. He had way too much head shake, so top of the board to the bottom of the board last year as the white flag comes out. This is our last lap, our only practice session for the Super Twins class. Mission Super Twins presented by S&S Cycles. Sammy still at the top spot, 3:7.033. That was his fastest lap right there. Price looked like he's a little bit off the pace going across the start finish line.
It looked like Brandon Price was just coming from the infield there. So they're in a rush right now. Got to get out there, got to get a fast lap in. The track could go either way. It could get faster and racier, or it could go the other way, and they did all they're going to do. So right now these guys are searching to try to put a good lap together.
Big P throwing the checkered flag out. Looked like Breyer kind of maybe pulled over and let the number 1 go on by. Jared Meese to the top spot on the last lap, so maybe he had a little sniff of the draft down the back straightaway at 3:7.018 for Jared Meese, the 9. 3:7.018. Sammy Albert, 3:7.033. Man, look how close that is. I mean, that's not even a blink, right? Between first and second right now?
Yeah, it's insignificant except for where you line up in your heat race. You know, that's what we'd always be looking at was and a lot of times on the mile it doesn't matter as much, but I was hearing from some of the guys, hey, we need to get out there and get that time in, start from the beginning of the day and be up front all day.
Take a look through Jared Meese. Again, this is just practice. Jared Meese, Sammy Halbert, Brandon Robinson 3rd, Bronson Bauman 4th, Colby Carlisle is 5th on his Yamaha. That's impressive. Bugs Pearson 6th, Briar Bauman 7th, Brian Smith 8th, Jared Vandekoy 9th, Jeffrey Carver the Wizard is 10th, Rispoli is 11th, Davis Fisher is 12th, Pat Buchanan is 13th, J.D. Beach 14th, Hayden Gillum riding one of the Vets and Hines Harleys, he's 15th, and Brandon Price. We saw him slow down on the front straightaway, so maybe something's a little bit wrong with the Brandon Price number 92, but that was their only practice session. So now go back, make some changes, and we're going to shift our attention over to the Production Twins. Production Twins are staged up over here. There are 2 groups of Production Twins. 65, Corey Texter is your points leader. 62 is Dan Brauman. He won Peoria. 25 is Ben Lau. 49 of Chad Coast. Ryan Barnes is 68. 64 is Danny Eslick on his own Kawasaki. 42 is Jeremiah Duffy. 71, Pat Buchanan doing double duty today. 31, Dylan Bell. 32, Dallas Daniels. And the 45, Shelby Miller. So some of these riders, not much experience out there, but then you got a guy like Corey who's got plenty of mile experience, rode the Premier class. Now he's a former champ in this class. Huge points lead for him right now. You go out there and be consistent. You go out there and try to see what you can do. What would you do if you're in the points lead right now, Johnny?
Well, I believe at this point in the game, this point in the season, and I'm sure Corey's at this mindset. Get out there. There's his wheelie. So
yeah, this is what we talked about, Johnny. They come out on the racetrack and do it for a wheelie. You sit there kind of saluting the fans, right?
Absolutely, and you still have a lot of playful spirit right now. Start the practice out. There's no stakes on the line. You can just come out here, play around, high, low, learn where the traction is. This is still a lot of fun, not a lot of pressure. Everything's so high stakes nowadays, and especially in a championship condition here like with Texter. But for him to be able to come out, wheelie that thing down the straightaway. Look at these guys, 4 or 5 guys wide, trying to figure out where the moisture is, where they want to run. That's great, man. This is racing, and these are all guys with a lot to prove. Every one of these guys has a lot to prove. I really like that. Each one of these guys is trying to kind of carve their way through the ranks.
Just got a message actually on Instagram. Oliver Brindley is saying he wanted his wishes actually come from his account. Says, hey, Scotty, Oliver wishes everybody good luck today. He's watching for the first time since his accident. So Oliver, hope you're enjoying the races today.
Right,
wish everybody good luck today out there on the racetrack. So pretty cool to get to tune in and watch the Springfield Mile.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, I'd never like to see anybody get hurt, but to still have his heart reaching out for the other riders and saying, hey, that's special.
So this is our practice group number 1 of the Production Twins. Ben Lau goes up the racetrack just a little bit on the 25. Here comes the 68. That is Ryan Barnes again. Barnes won here last year, and Rispoli also took a win in this class last year. Of course, Rispoli now in the biggest class. And look who's at the top spot, Dallas Daniels. It's only his 3rd ride on a Production Twin. He's already fastest in his first practice session.
Yeah, Dallas has got a ton of talent. He's got a good team behind him. And he's looking at this thing like a big picture. Dallas is he's wanting to win the Premier class next year, the year after, the year after. He's wanting to claw at the top of this sport, and he's got the pieces of the puzzle to do it. So
32 getting a little bit sideways right there in turn number 4. Doesn't look like he backed off at all. Dallas Daniels quickest so far in practice, 3:8.499. He's on the Estenson Racing Yamahas. The white flag is out for all the competitors. Dallas at the back of the pack. He's only raced twice. He's got a win already in this class at the Atlanta Super TT, so he has enough points to be in the first group, but he doesn't have a lot of points to be up near the front. So there goes Barnes on the 68 bike, and he's got a lot of help from his family. His dad's here, his grandpa's here.
Let's look at the other end of the spectrum. We got Dallas Daniels coming through, third right in the production twins class. And then you got Patrick Buchanan,
50 years old.
He was old when I was racing. Of course, he's always in better shape than me. I better watch my mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Still is.
So he's riding an Indian in the Super Twins class, riding a Harley in the Production Twins class. Again, they're allowed to have a few provisionals like that. Just got another message from Roy Platel, said, tell Showtime hello.
Yeah, right on.
People tuning in all over the place. And got a question from Canada. Ask Johnny if he ever won up at Petrolia up in Canada.
Petrolia, that's the one right by Beatty's house, I believe?
I'm not sure.
I think Petrolia was right by Steve's house. I don't know that I got to ride that track.
All right.
I did get a few fun trips to Canada, though.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Old buddy Ford, man. He put on a heck of a show up there.
Yep.
I remember going to the big Montreal, I think Montreal Mile they had. That was a hoot. It's like in a mall parking lot. It's a spectacle. It's really cool.
Crazy. Taking a look at the times from our first practice session. Ben Lau goes to the top spot right there in the last lap. That's the 25 Harley, 3:8.042. Dallas Daniels second. Corey Texter, our points leader, third. Jeremiah Duffy is fourth. Pat Buchanan fifth. Ryan Barnes, Danny Eslick on his own Kawasaki back there in seventh. Dan Bromley, Chad Coast, Dylan Bell, the Kansas rider, and Shelby Miller from the Pacific Northwest rounds out your top 11. So again, two groups of riders here in the Production Twins. So up next, group number 2, rolling onto the track. 117, Jordan Harris. 96, Jesse Janich. 60s, Nick Armstrong. 133, David Wiggin. 99, Kevin Stallings. 48, Trent Lowe. 15, Gary Ketchum. 13, Morgan Mishler. 38, Tanner Dean. And 94, Ryan Wells on Gordy Showpraise KTM. That is a good-looking motorcycle. I don't know if you've seen the 94 or not.
The Showpraise have been building trick parts and trick bikes since before I was, even old enough to take notice. So it's cool to see that Michigan crew still doing cool stuff and helping out another Michigan guy. I had the opportunity to hang out up there a little bit with, when Brian Smith was a young man, but Springer and Joe Bisha and that whole crowd, through my ride for Bartels, I got to know them, and the Showpraise are always a big part of that deal. So yeah, look at that.
There
thing,
it is.
man.
That thing is beautiful. It's a 790.
Okay. So it's out of the adventure bike. Yeah.
Yep,
cool.
exactly. Duke or Super Duke, something like that. But Ryan Wells gets his hand on it. Gordon Showpraise built that up in Michigan. Good to see him out there. They said, tough thing on something like that is getting that thing hooked up. I rode that Yamaha TDM for a while, and the biggest thing was trying to get power to the ground.
That flywheel.
Yeah.
The size of the crankshaft. Nowhere else in the world does a gigantic, iron circle spinning around good for anything.
Right.
You want to be able to accelerate off the corners. Well, in flat track, you need to put the power to the ground. So looks like Ryan Wells has got it going pretty good there.
He's already up to 12th in the first couple of laps on that motorcycle. 4:1.135. Again, Ben Lau still at the top spot. A 3:8.042 for the number 25 using that first group. So again, this is our only practice session. After this, we have 2 rounds of qualifying.
So it'd be interesting to see what that, look at like a dyno chart or whatever, what that 790 is doing. But I'm telling you, that motor will leave enough on the table. You could actually put the power wherever you want. The problem is going to be if you get it too fast and trying to get the thing hooked up. And I think that's what they're battling with anything other than the Harleys and the specific, those big crankshaft motors, the Indian, those sport-specific motors, is actually getting that power to the ground. That's actually, Dick Mann brought that up to me at Peoria one year. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, crankshaft weight is what wins flat track races.
Wow. So that's why the XR did so well for so many years, right?
Hard to beat, exactly.
Take a look through the pack there. There's the 99 Kevin Stallings. Looks like he's on a different motorcycle out there than the 99. Kevin Stallings on the back straightaway. There's another look at a couple of the other riders. Stallings right now currently 5th fastest on the number 99 bike with a 3:8.419. On the freak of nature, because he came up as a little kid and was beating the pro riders at Mid-American Speedway in Indianapolis.
All right. I was wondering where that name came from. I like that.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Who nicknamed you Showtime?
That was well, I'm going to tell you, JB Norris and I had an after party one time, and we were talking about how do we get the sport of flat track where it needs to be. We're always working to try to make flat track cool. And I said, we need to get it. These guys need nicknames. You need to build personalities into them. Show the fans who these guys really are. Show them. tell them who they are. And so right there, he said, oh, that's great. I'm going to start doing that, and you're going to be Showtime. It was like, come on, man, that's Jeremy McGrath. He's the real deal.
But,
well, then here we go, man, and it kind of stuck. So
when an announcer tells you something, it sticks, right?
That's it. It's over, man.
You have no choice in it.
And I'm here to tell you, we did a lot of fun with that over the years with JB Norris. I had JB Norris on a mechanical bull at my house after the 2005 race season. So that's the kind of, I don't know how many people actually remember or knew JB, but he wasn't a small man.
Right.
And we had a season was over. Sean Russell lived with me all year long. We had a big going away party for the end of the summer, and we had a mechanical bull in the front yard. JB rode that thing. So there you go. That's where Showtime came from, pal.
Ben Lapp, quickest in practice, 38.042. Dallas Daniels, second, 38.368. Harley, Yamaha. Corey Texter on the G&G Yamaha, third, 38.406. Jeremiah Duffy's fourth. We just watched the 99 of Kevin Stallings qualify up there in fifth. Pat Buchanan, sixth. Ryan Barnes. Jesse Janish, good to see him back on a twin. He did ride the twin at Peoria just a few weeks ago. Came up just a little bit short, taking the win. Danny Eslick, the four-time Daytona 200 winner, is ninth. Dan Bromley is 10th. He was the winner at Peoria. Then you got Morgan Mishler. He's getting on board the Vance & Hines Harley. So the Vance & Hines bringing out the Army out here today. We are at Springfield, Illinois. It's the Memphis Shades Springfield Mile presented by Law Tigers, Progressive American Flat Track. We'll take a quick break. They're going to do some track maintenance. Qualifying up next from Springfield.
Hey, is that your stomach growling? Or the sound of thousands of cc's circling the track? Fuel up for race day with Mission Foods. Rev those taste buds with fast and easy-to-create recipes that are Winner's Circle delicious. Try some of our mouth-watering tacos to piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. Start those engines, because Mission has you covered from the green flag to the checkered flag. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
Welcome to CHD, your home for all things Harley-Davidson. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned bikes. Gear up for a ride with some new motor clothes. Or customize your bike with HD parts and accessories to make it as unique as you are. Our service department can store your bike for the winter or get it tuned up for riding season by our factory-trained technicians. If it's a Harley-Davidson experience you're looking for, Kazire Harley-Davidson's got it. 150 West Marion Avenue in Forsyth or online at KazireHD.com.
Hi, I'm Miles Copeland, the General Manager and Managing Partner of Green Toyota, your local Toyota dealer since 1983 and a longtime sponsor of the Springfield Mile. First, to Dave and Tamara Keesaw, congratulations and thank you on your 40 years of commitment to the IMDA and the Springfield Mile. And to you, race fans, on behalf of Toyota, Toyota Racing Development, and all of us at Green, welcome to the fastest 1 mile in the country. Sit back, hang on, and enjoy the Springfield Mile.
Progressive insures over 5 million boats, motorcycles, and RVs throughout America. Get a quote in under 4 minutes at AmericanFlatTrack.com/progressive to see how much you could save.
Dunlop is proud to be the official tire of Progressive American Flat Track. What we learn from racing is rolled into our production tires, such as the Dunlop K180, a street-legal version of the aggressive DT3 flat track tire. With the K180, street riders can now have the authentic flat track tire experience. No other tire company has won more American motorcycle championships than Dunlop.
Memphis Shades brings you a whole new level of style when it comes to motorcycle windshields and fairings. The quality, style, and selection set these products apart from the pack. Memphis Shades designs and builds all windshields, fairings, and hardware in-house. Raw materials in, finished goods out. Made in Memphis. Style that works.
Cardo Systems is the official Bluetooth communicator for American Flat Track. Whether on the road or at the track, the Cardo Systems' industry-leading mesh technology keeps you and your fellow riders connected. Racers like Sammy Halbert rely on Cardo for street riding entertainment, as well as a training tool at the track. All Cardo communicators are fully waterproof, dirt-proof, and feature sound by JBL. For more information, check out cardosystems.com and follow Cardo on all social media platforms at Cardo Systems.
S&S Cycle was born from a passion for racing and has spent over 60 years building high performance for the power sports market. All the while, racing has remained at our core. From the Bonneville Salt Flats to championships in progressive American flat track, S&S is the go-to for high performance on and off the racetrack.
Mobile View has been providing state-of-the-art LED video screens to sporting and special events throughout the U.S. and Canada since 1999. We use our vast experience of thousands of events to help guide the process of finding the right size screen to help make your event a memorable experience for your fans and sponsors. Brought to you by Yamaha and its best-in-class lineup of power sports vehicles. For more information on how you too can experience the pinnacle of performance both on and off-road, visit YamahaMotorsports.com. Race fans, VP Racing Fuels offers a full line of power sports fuels, lubricants, coolants, and appearance products for track and street. From pro racers to weekend warriors, we help riders make more power. Ask your local power sports dealer.
On Friday, October 8th, Charlotte, NC is hosting an epic battle. American Flat Track returns to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 2021 season finale.
You see how bad these guys want it.
All the action, all the fun. This is a race you don't want to miss. The Charlotte Half Mile on October 8th at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get your tickets now at AmericanFlatTrack.com.
And welcome back to the capital of Illinois. Springfield, Illinois means it's mile racing in Memphis Shades. Springfield Mile presented by Law Tigers. There's a look at yesterday. That's not what, that's not this. I can't even say it. That's not what is happening right now. That was yesterday. It was a monsoon. I don't know how many inches it was, but it took forever for that to dry up and get us out of here. There's still moisture in the middle of the racetrack. This is today. A few popcorn clouds up there in the sky. 75 to 80 degrees all day long. It took us a little while to get on the racetrack, so we are behind schedule. We'll do our best to play catch up. What's coming up next is 2 rounds of qualifying for each of the classes. Mission Super Twins qualifying round 1, AFT Production Twins qualifying round number 1. Again, we'll take a break in the action, do a little track maintenance, give the teams a little bit of a chance to prep their motorcycles. Qualifying at round number 2 after that, and then we'll get into our semifinals. So opening ceremonies has already been taken care of, so it's racing from here on out, but a little bit of business we want to take care of. There's a press release came out on Friday, but Cameron Smith unfortunately was disqualified for failing the substance abuse policy after the New York Short Track 2. New York 2 after that, he failed that, so was disqualified from that race, and he will not be with us until he completes the Road to Recovery. So Cameron Smith, the 44, is not with us today in the Production Twins class, also in the same boat. In the AFT singles class, Henry Wiles at 17, same boat for him. So both of those riders were disqualified from New York Short Track 2, and it took the win away from Henry Wiles at Peoria, gave the win to Max Whale in that singles class. So both those riders are off the circuit until they complete the Road to Recovery, and we hope that happens soon so we can get them back out here on the racetrack. And we'll keep you updated if we hear any more information on those 2 riders. They're not with us today, but it's awesome to see that they're adding water to the racetrack right now. So that's incredible after as much rain as we had yesterday. And yes, I said the R word, I'm not supposed to, but as much rain as we had yesterday, they're adding water back to the racetrack. So it's soft underneath, but we'll be back on the track here real soon. But Ricky is hanging out amongst the people, checking out what's going on. Let's see what Ricky was up to just a few moments ago.
One of the many things that I like about the Springfield Mile is they always have these little pop-up bike shows. And there's some really cool vintage bikes here. And I really love motorcycles. One of the reasons I'm here is that I love motorcycles so many. And there's a really cool Harley that I think is an FXE. The Yamaha, this is even a Kenny Roberts edition. It's Honda CB750. I've actually got a Honda CB750 chopper at home, and a beautiful example of the Honda CB750. But I want to show you something. I've ridden an Indian motorcycle coast to coast 14 times. I've been in 4 countries. I ride a lot. The bike that I started all of this addiction for motorcycles on was this right here. This isn't the exact one. Maybe it is. This is the first motorcycle I ever rode in my entire life, the Honda XR75. And you walk, and I'm just guessing, I think that would be like a 74. But there's Hodakas, there's AMF Harley-Davidsons. Come by here because there's so many cool bikes. And sometimes if you're a little bit older like me, you walk by some of these and they bring back so many memories, like that XR75.
I think that might have been Ricky's first ever motorcycle down there. I don't know. Maybe not. Similar bike anyway. So just got a message come in from Dan Stanley. Dan said, I rode for Babe at the DuQuoin 50 lapper. I remember that. Actually did. I helped pit for Willie McCoy during that race. We had to pull out. We're running second on the 25th lap stop due to too much oil coming out of that engine, just like what Johnny Murphy's talking about. So good stories about Babe DeMay. He wanted to know Johnny's first impression of Babe, but unfortunately Johnny's already stepped back outside to go watch the race in action. So that's what's going on right now. We're getting a little track prep when we get done with that. Mission Super Twins qualifying round 1. AFT Production Twins qualifying round 1. Lots going on out there on the concourse. Be sure and get your event t-shirts right here at the Springfield Mile. When we come back, it'll be time for some qualifying action. Mission Super Twins. They'll be up next.
A legendary race, epic speeds. On September 11th and 12th, American Flat Track returns to the Cal Expo for an epic doubleheader mile racing showdown.
One of the best races you'll ever see.
An all-ages doubleheader event. Experience it all on September 11th and 12th at the Law Tigers Sacramento Mile, presented by Knopf Insulation. Get your tickets now at AmericanFlatTrack.com.
You own the job. The mornings that start too early. The nights that go too late. And every unexpected, unpredictable, unthinkable, unbelievable thing in between. You own it all. It's good to know you can rent whatever you need from people that do whatever it takes. Let's do the work.
Sideburn is the world's finest go fast, turn left magazine. It is available to buy at Progressive AFT's trackside merchandise booths and is the official magazine of Progressive American Flat Track. For more information, visit sideburnmagazine.com.
Arai helmets started racing in America in flat track, and we've been supporting it ever since. Arai, handcrafted with an obsessive dedication to rider protection. For more information, please visit our website, AraiAmericas.com. Hold on to your burritos because things are about to get too fast, too tasty. Mission Foods is a proud sponsor of the AFT Super Twins. Add Mission to your race-watching snacks for mouth-watering race day flavors. Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty. With over 300 World Championship titles, for 44 years, Öhlins advanced suspension technology has been providing the pinnacle of suspension for all areas of motorsports. For road or track, dirt or asphalt, when you choose Öhlins products to elevate your performance, you get Öhlins USA support and service to keep fueling your passion for excellence. Parts Unlimited, the people behind We Support the Sport, welcome you to this high-action event. We are proud to join with race fans everywhere in working to ensure that our sport gets bigger and more exciting each season. And you too can support the sport by visiting your local dealer who stocks products from Parts Unlimited. They've got the very best in high-performance parts and accessories and the best support network in the business. Parts Unlimited. We support the sport. Whelen designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for various industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America. On the road, in the air, and around the world, Whelen is trusted to be seen, trusted to be heard, trusted to perform.
Klotz Synthetic Lubricants is proud to be the official lubricant of American Flat Track. Family owned and made in America since 1959. Klotz has built its reputation by answering the call of racers and performance enthusiasts who won't settle for anything less than superior synthetic lubricants. Racers and performance buffs around the world rely on Klotz to get them to the checkered flag. Order today at KlotzLube.com.
KTM. Ready to race. Kicker Performance Audio is the official sound system of American Flat Track. Kicker's fully stocked line of products includes speakers, amplifiers, and subwoofers for your car and truck stereo systems, as well as those for your boat, side-by-side, and touring motorcycle. Kicker also makes Bluetooth outdoor speakers, over-ear headphones, and earbuds to pair with your favorite mobile device. To learn more or find a dealer, visit kicker.com.
The way this racetrack has turned out, AJ, is incredible. They can run high, low, middle, anywhere they want. We're talking 8 riders in contention for this right now. The final corner awaits. Look at this track. Briar Bauman's going to have to use the track. Briar Bauman wins 2 years in a row here at Williamsburg.
On Friday, October 8th, Charlotte, NC is hosting an epic battle. American Flat Track returns to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 2021 season finale.
You see how bad these guys want it.
All the action, all the fun. This is a race you don't want to miss. The Charlotte Half Mile on October 8th at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get your tickets now at AmericanFlatTrack.com.
A little bit of an update. We're only going to do one round of qualifying. We know you guys came to see some racing. We know you didn't come to see the qualifying, just a little extra feature if you do get in early. But since we're behind the 8 ball just a little bit, only one round of qualifying. They're going to take a little extra time right now to make the track as good as possible for all you race fans and for our racers out there. So earlier in this week, there was an announcement, a new official action camera of Progressive American Flat Track. It's Insta360. There's a good shot right there of Sammy Halbert, and the camera's actually pointed right towards him right now, and at the end of the day you can edit that, turn it around, see all different kinds of views, but this is when it's just a still shot of him facing Sammy Halbert. When this is up on the handlebars right here, this is the Peoria TT. Here's Sammy's views from the opposite side of the camera. You can see all angles with the official action camera of American Flat Track, the Insta360. Up next, we'll see, this is going to be a wild one right here. This is Sammy Halbert's crash up there over the, I'm sorry, it's not Sammy's, it is actually Dallas Daniels. We're on board with him right now, up and over the jump on his Essenson Racing Yamaha. Lands a little bit crooked, goes into the grass, and the grass was wet, and there they turned it around, and Dallas went down hard right there into the grass, and again, it's the 360. And at the end of the day, you can catch all kinds of stuff with the camera. There's our cameraman Todd right there, so catch all kinds of crazy stuff. There's Kristen Beath, our cameraman Brian. Todd right there again. At the end of the day, you can do all kinds of things with the official action camera of American Flat Track, the Insta360. Okay, Brian, Todd, Kristen Beat having some fun with that camera, do whatever they want. Again, you can do whatever you want with the footage after you get all done. Again, Insta360, the new official action camera of Progressive American Flat Track. So again, before you saw that little spot on the Insta360, we will do one round of qualifying. That is very important, race fans, because that one round of qualifying will get you into your semifinals for today and also tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, we start early tomorrow morning. Opening ceremony is at 9 a.m. We're praying, we're singing, and then we're getting into racing. So qualifying for today will get you qualified for tomorrow. So right at about 9:05 tomorrow morning, we'll be on the racetrack with semifinals. So we know you fans, some of you fans came from a long ways. We want you to be able to make it back home. Some people have to go to work the next day, you know, so we'll do our part to get you out of here as quickly and as safe as possible, but also it's for our teams to pack up and load up and head out to California, because we go to California Friday night, Lodi Cycle Bowl, Saturday, the Sacramento Mile, and Sunday, the Sacramento Mile. Tickets still available. Get them while you can. While we're sitting here doing a little track maintenance, let's take a look back. So many folks didn't get to see that if you weren't here early enough. We got some memories and some highlights of this beautiful racetrack, the Springfield Mile. Some great shots, great memories right there from the Springfield Mile. Again, thanks to Dave and Tom Marquiso, who have been promoting this race for over 22 years and 20 years, respectively. We're going to miss them for sure. We're going to hand things over to Jared and Nicole Meese starting next year. So some great memories from right here at the Springfield Mile. Don't forget, we're at the fairgrounds at the capital of Illinois. Now, you never know what you're going to see out there roaming around. Look, some of my friends are out there hanging out. That's at the fairgrounds. We're having some fun out here at the Springfield Mile, doing a little track maintenance. One round of qualifying coming up next. After that, we'll get into our semifinals here at the Progressive American Flat Track. Round number 12, it's the Memphis Shades Springfield Mile, presented by the Law Tigers. We will be right back.
We're the Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers. We understand the challenges riders face every day. As riders, we want to share the road and be seen by motorists. Remaining visible is critical to our safety and well-being. That's why we work tirelessly to promote motorcycle safety and awareness. We're proud to support our community that includes riders of all stripes. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Ranger. Live dangerously.
Dunlop is the official tire of Progressive American Flat Track. We make tires in America for racing and street racing, such as our creditworthy Progressive American Flat Track spec racing tire, the DT4, and the DT3, which is now the street-legal K180. Learn more about Dunlop tires at dunlopmotorcycletires.com. Cardo Systems is the official Bluetooth communicator for American Flat Track. Whether on the road or at the track, the Cardo Systems industry-leading mesh technology keeps you and your fellow riders connected. Racers like Sammy Halbert rely on Cardo for street riding entertainment, as well as a training tool at the track. All Cardo communicators are fully waterproof, dirt-proof, and feature sound by JBL. For more information, check out cardosystems.com and follow Cardo on all social media platforms at @CardoSystems.
Explore the full Indian motorcycle lineup, including the all-new redesigned FTR with 17-inch wheels and street-tuned suspension, or the new generation of a classic, the 2022 Indian Chief. For more info and to schedule a demo ride, visit IndianMotorcycle.com. Always wear a helmet, never drink and ride. If you ever dreamed of blue skies, fresh air, and blue-green water, then look no further. If your idea of heaven on earth includes velvet golf courses, romantic evenings, and a setting sun, then you owe it to yourself to check out Southwest Florida's beautiful Punta Gorda and its neighboring areas. At MyDigitalListing.com, we've been making dreams come true for over a decade.
SBS is your single source for brake parts and components. From pads to rotors, shoes, and other important parts, covering motorcycles, scooters, motocross bikes, ATVs, and UTVs. We create the power to stop you so you can go ahead. Find the right parts for your bike at www.sbsbrakes.com. Race fans, VP Racing Fuels offers a full line of power sports fuels, lubricants, coolants, and appearance products for track and street. From pro racers to weekend warriors, we help riders make more power. Ask your local power sports dealer.
Welcome to CHD, your home for all things Harley-Davidson. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned bikes. Gear up for a ride with some new motor clothes. Or customize your bike with HD parts and accessories to make it as unique as you are. Our service department can store your bike for the winter or get it tuned up for riding season by our factory-trained technicians. If it's a Harley-Davidson experience you're looking for, Kevzire Harley-Davidson's got it. 150 West Marion Avenue in Forsyth, or online at CozierHD.com.
All right, so after the last race, we've got this thing called Ride the Mile. You, my friends, can grab your bike, ride the mile. Brad Baker, James Monaco, heard that Jeffrey Carver's going to be out there. And Jared
and his daughter is going to do it, they just told me.
Well, I am going to do it as well, and I'm going to be doing it on this Bull Taco. I've ridden pretty much every kind of motorcycle, but I'll be honest, the no front brake is not an issue because I have a chopper without a front brake. However, this Bull Taco, these are the bikes that they race in the Astro division, which are just such cool bikes. They're built in
1975 in Spain.
1975 in Spain. And I'm going to ride this bike. Now, first of all, let's just go over the bike. I know the clutch is here, right? No front brake, but shifting is on the other side, and everybody's saying, oh, it's so easy to shift on the other side. I'm sure it is, but I never have.
You got it. You're a motorcycle rider. You can handle it. Just think right instead of left.
So the cool thing is that you guys can ride your bike with us today after the race, and it's such a great cause. And come on, you're riding your motorcycle at the Springfield Mile. How awesome. Not alone. Yeah, I was on the track with Jared Meese and Brad Baker and James Monaco and Jeffrey Carver at the Springfield Mile. How many of your friends can say that? None. So we're going to be doing it real quick. Tell us how to sign up.
Go to rookie79.com. You can buy your tickets online. You can walk out in front of the grandstand and buy it at the Rookie 79 tent, or come through the tunnel, follow the signs around to the second Law Tigers Rookies 79 tent, and that's the registration area. Hey, big shout out to Tim Estenson. This is the Estenson Astro. We got Chris Carter from Motion Pros participating, Terry Reimer. Everybody's going to ride the mile. Don't be the one that ain't out there with us. Come on, man.
And this is Charlie's bike. Charlie's won quite a few Astro races on this very bike. And and even Charlie said, just so you know, Ricky, I don't let anybody ride my bike. He's one of those. I'm kind of one of those too. I've never let anybody ride my motorcycles, but I feel honored to ride this. Have they ever done the Ride the Mile before?
Yeah, we done it in 2019. We did what's called Ride the Mile with the Champions, and we had 9 former Grand National champions. But today we actually have, our goal is to surpass that number. I think we did 175 in 2019. Our goal today is 250 people, and it's because people want to say they rode the mile with Brad Baker and James Monaco. How about that, Springfield?
And Ricky Rackman. Has anybody fallen before during one of the Ride the Mile?
No one has ever fallen on the Ride the Mile. Jay Springsteen did do a wheelie.
Well, I won't be doing a wheelie, but maybe I can be that one guy to make history at Ride the Mile. It's going to be a blast. You also get a really, really cool T-shirt. So right now, if you rode here, and I've seen some really cool bikes, and it doesn't matter if you've got a full bagger, that's fine too. You can ride your motorcycle on the Springfield Mile. And how much is it if they want to just ride with us?
$25 and you get the T-shirt. And then we also got Brent Pierce of Pierce Photography is going to take as many pictures of all the people that's on the track, and you'll be able to buy your picture of yourself on your bike at the Springfield Mile through Brent Pierce Photography, and all the money's going to the Rookies of 79.
1 down, 4 up?
1 down, 4 up.
All right, I'm going to go work on that. Scotty, you've ridden flat track. I assume you've ridden bikes that shift on both sides, right?
Yeah, I've rode the Bull Tacos a couple times. The last time was up at Knoxville, Iowa. We had a Spanish shootout, and I got lucky enough to take the win. The hardest thing to remember is you kickstart that thing on the other side, too, Ricky. The kickstart's on your side, not on the side where Charlie's standing right now.
No, this bike doesn't have a kickstart. This bike has a starter.
It's a special one.
This bike has a Charlie push Ricky and make him go.
It's got some get off and push.
That'll be fun, watching Charlie push the bike. Scotty, let me ask you this. Have you ever ridden a Bull Taco at the Springfield Mile with Brad Baker, James Monaco, Jeffrey Carver, Jared Meese?
No, because it hasn't happened yet. After the race today.
Are you going to ride with us today?
I'll see what I can do. If I can get everything buttoned up down here, I'll see if I can get out there.
That would be great, and that means maybe 2 people will be falling today. So go sign up. It's only $25. We're going to ride the mile after the race.
Again, Ricky, it's after the race, about 30 minutes after we wrap up our final victory podium down here. So if you want to ride the mile, stop by the Rookies of 79 booth. Stop by, check it out. Don't forget, also, out there, get your event T-shirts while you can. Several vendors out front on Vendor Row. It's such a cool place coming to the Springfield Mile. Just got an update. We'll be on the racetrack at 3:20, so we're just a few moments away. 1 round of qualifying only For each class, 6 laps is the distance. We'll look for the best times, and that will get you qualified for today's semifinals and tomorrow's semifinals. Let's take a look back at yesterday and see what we had. Look at this. It looks like we could have raced jet skis yesterday. You can see the water is all the way up to the guardrail. This is inside turn number 1, I assume. And there's the grandstands. You can see it's coming down like crazy. That's actually underneath as people are trying to get out of here. But Mother Nature is cooperating today. Sun is out, just a few clouds. I heard it's getting a little bit warmer out there now, up to 80 degrees. Tracy Jones just came down here, gave me a race report, a little bit of a weather report for what's going on outside. So lots of things happening out here at the Springfield Mile. You can see the dash marks on the inside of the turns right there to kind of let you know where it gets a little bit tackier down there. There is the weather. I was just talking about 80 degrees. I was off by 1. It's 79 degrees. At 5 o'clock, it'll be 78. At 6 o'clock, it's dropping down to 76. So we got to be done before it gets dark because there are no lights out here at the Springfield Mile. And again, we'll start early tomorrow morning. We'll start very early, actually. Opening ceremonies at 9 a.m. We'll be on the racetrack at 9:05, maybe 9:06, depending on how long the prayer and national anthem go. So we're going to get started early with semifinals. Dash for Cashes, 2 of them, just like we have today. They're actually not called Dash for Cash. There's a Mission Super Twins Mission Challenge, $5,000 to win. Also added to this weekend's events for both days, the AFT Production Twins Memphis Shades Babe to May Dash, $5,000 to win each of those dashes in both of the classes. There's the dirt. Some of it's been pushed down into the infield. It's all washed down off of the racetrack. Again, that guardrail is usually up high. It looks like it's only about 8 inches off of the ground underneath the guardrail. So they have pushed the dirt down, and the water washed most of that dirt down there during yesterday. So unfortunately, we did have to postpone till today and tomorrow. Look at that. All the dirt pushed down to that guardrail. I remember some of the riders would go there and clip the guardrail on the inside with their handlebar in their hand. I don't think they'll be getting that low today. It's all full wet down there still, down low. So I believe we're going to check in one more time. Kristen Beat from NBCSN. Kristen, what's happening outside?
Well, thanks, Scotty. During that time, I was checking in with a few of the riders in the paddock. I talked with Chad Coase. I also checked in with Briar Bauman. I asked Briar Bauman, earlier in the day, he was talking about that ugly tuck he had and what exactly he's trying to do on track and how he's changing his body mechanics to get small on the bike. And for him, what that means, and something he discussed with Brad Baker, was literally pulling his body back further on the bike. He explained to me you have to scoot your butt back. Sorry, I don't have a better term for that. But then he said you have to lay down on the seat and you actually tuck your elbow underneath the handlebar with your left hand. And to me, that seems absolutely terrifying. If you're going speeds of 140 to take one hand off the handlebar to tuck it in to get small, I mean, these guys are absolute daredevils out there when you think about it.
Absolutely. Each and every lap, Kristen, they coming off of turn number 2 and turn number 4, you take that hand off the handlebar, tuck it in, and you get as low as possible. Here we go. The only chance to get qualified for today's event and tomorrow, to be exact. The number 1, Briar Bauman, will lead him out. He's going down there really low just to check it out, see how wet it is. 9 is Jared Meese, 44, Brandon Robinson, 20 is Jared Vandegoy, 95, J.D. Beach, 37, Bronson Bauman, 67, Davis Fisher, 92, Brandon Price, 36, Colby Carlisle, 27, Bugs Pearson, 69, Sammy Halbert, 43 is James Rispoli, 4, Brian Smith, 71, Pat Buchanan, 59, Haiti Gilman, the 23, the Wizard, Jeffrey Carver. Look at this, Briar up the full song on the front straightaway. Into turn number 1, you can see they slide up onto the gas tank, or up towards the gas tank, to put the weight on the front wheels to go into the first corner. They'll do that again when they get to the other end of the straightaway. Jared's running right above the dash mark. It looks like Briar's kind of running right below him down there, especially in turns 1 and 2. You can see actually the tire track all the way down the straightaway. You see it tuck in. Looks like Bugs Pearson, a little bit of head shake, maybe a little tail shake right there down the back straightaway. A little bit of dust. It's crazy how much rain we had yesterday. Now there's a little dust out there. It's just on the top layers. Johnny Murphy described it. If they pack it in, this top layer will get a little bit hard, a little bit dried out. Let's see if anybody's going to go up the racetrack. Johnny Murphy was talking about possibly the 23 might go up there and try the high line. Briar goes to the top spot. That didn't last very long. Brandon Robinson in the top spot, 3:5.964. Wow, fastest in practice was a 3:7.018 to the track. It's getting fast right now. Robinson at 3:5.964. Jared Meese 3:6.048, currently second. Here comes Vandegoy up to third. Vandegoy is Robinson's teammate. He's up there in that third spot right now. This is The Super Twins qualifying. Again, the Vanderkoy and Robinson on the Mission Foods Brew Systems of Dallas, Texas HCRR team. Teammates up there first and third with Meese in the sandwich right there in second. Here's the draft coming into effect down the back straightaway. They backed off, got back in line. I think that's a good move. He's maybe trying to see if he can play it up to maybe beat him to the finish line. They're already working on some strategy for later on. Meese in tuck, right behind the one. Here he comes swinging up the inside. You want to see if he can beat him to that finish line. That's what he did right there. Jared Meese pokes the number 9 out in front. Carver at the top spot now, 3.5.961. Robinson 3.5.964. Just got a message from the promoter. Actually, listen to this, folks. The inside of the track was so wet by the time they got that unusable of the top dried out too much. This is why they had to water. And this is huge because this qualifying counts for both days, today and tomorrow. There was Jeffrey using the draft off the 71 of Pat Buchanan. They'll take that Indian up there into the turn number 3 area. White flag is out, 6 laps qualifying today. This is their only qualifying session for the whole weekend, 23. Jeffrey Carver at the top spot, 3.5.961 toward the white flag. He got by Buchanan. Carver still fast as he goes across the start-finish line. See if that time gets any faster. Vanderkoy still looking for his first ever win in American Flat Track Super Twins. Vanderkoy sitting in the 4th spot. Davis Fisher up there in 5th. That's a surprise. Kobe Carlisle was 5th in the first round of practice. He's currently 6th in our first round and only round of qualifying. As Pat Buchanan looks like he's got a little wag on the back wheel going down there into turn 3. Brian Smith way back there off the pace a little bit on the 4 by 36.914. That's 1 full second, just about 1 full second off the leader. Checkered flag is out. Jeffrey Carver looks like will be our fast time. That will be true for today and for tomorrow. Jeffrey Carver's found some speed. It didn't take very long to shake them cobwebs off since he hasn't raced all season. Getting everything situated again. Jeffrey Carver, your top spot. There's a look at the times. 3.5.961. Robinson 3.5.964. Meese third, 3.6.048. Vanderkoy's up there. He's sniffing around for his first win. 3.6.071. Where's the champ? He's back there in 11th, 3.6.531. That's why the Bullet Brad Baker's not here. He still works for the factory Indian team. He's going to go down there and help out with the number 1 rider, see if he can find some speed. Bronson Bauman actually pretty solid day. Right now, currently 7th. They were told to get 1 practice start. They're stopping as they come off at turn number 4. They're told not to do it in the racing line. That's what they're doing right now. Line them up. Up next, we'll have 2 production twins rounds of qualifying, and then that'll be it for qualifying. Then we'll come back with our semifinals, 2 semifinals for each class. After the semifinals, then we'll have our Mission Super Twins Mission Challenge and our AFT Production Twins Memphis Shades Babe to May Challenge, which is $5,000 to win. Production Twins rolling on the track. 65, Corey Texter. 62, Dan Bromley. 25, Ben Lau. 49, Chad Coast. 68, Ryan Barnes. 64, Danny Eslick. 42, Jeremiah Duffy. 71, Pat Buchanan. Going back-to-back. Has to hop off the Indian, hop on the Harley. How hard is that? 31, Dylan Bell. 32, Dallas Daniels. And 45, Shelby Miller as the bike's on the racetrack. This is their only chance to qualify for the semis. We got a pack of 5 riders up at turn number 2. They'll take them down the back straightaway. Ben Lau's going to lead that freight train. Ben Lau out front. There's Varnes right behind him. He's always easy to find those bright green leathers. Chad Coast in the 49. He's actually parked underneath the Vance and Hines tent this weekend. Got some support from Vance and Hines to help out here. And there's Eslick on the 64. Kawasaki back there trying to keep in tow with this lead group right here. This is qualifying only round. Pat Buchanan to the top spot. 3.875 for the 50-year-old rider. Huh. Makes me want to get my leathers out. I'm just kidding. I'm all done. Down the back straightaway. Varnes on the 68 bike trying to lay down the quickest lap as he can. 3.8.976 was his last lap. Just getting up to full song again. 6 laps of qualifying. That will set the field for today's semis and tomorrow. There's a look at the 64 of Eslick right behind the 71 of Pat Buchanan. Maybe they can work together and lay down some quick laps. Usually 2 bikes are faster than 1, and just as we said that, Varnes goes to the head of the class, 3:7.547. Jeremiah Duffy, the 42, now up to second. That'll slide Pat Buchanan all the way back to seventh. He goes from being the top spot back to seventh. The rest of the bike's trying to find some speed. Buchanan had the luxury of coming out back-to-back, so he knew what the track was like. So maybe these other riders took it easy on that first lap. Look at Coast. No, that's Ben Lau going around the outside of the Barnes. Now he'll get back in line. That's what you need to do. Get in line, pull out and make the draft pass. Barnes gets it sideways. Coming up in turn number 4, that's going to allow the 25 to sneak up to him. Here he comes. He's feeling the head shake, the turbulence. Off the 68, he gets back in line. Barnes out front, the 68. Here comes Ben Lau. In tow is the 49. There's Dallas Daniels, the 32 to the top spot, and he just drafted by the 45 is Shelby Miller. So he set that fast time all by himself. A 3:7.194 right now for Dallas Daniels, 3:7.194. Chad Coast now moves up to second. Duffy moves up to third. Slide Ben Lau to fourth. Pat Buchanan back to fifth. Take a look at the Estenson Racing Monster Energy Yamaha Dallas Daniels. This is only his third race with American Flat Track in the Production Twins class. They're 3 wide across the start-finish line. Dallas Daniels coming off the turn number 4. He's at the back of the pack. Usually that's what Brian Smith does. He wants to go out there all by himself. Doesn't want to show anybody any secrets. Daniels top spot goes even faster. 3:7.171. 3:7.171 for Dallas Daniels, laying down some quick laps. He's 3/10 faster than anybody else. Ricky Rackman's down there watching him on the front straight. Ricky, what are you thinking?
I will tell you right now, unless you were here, you don't really realize how fast they are going on this straightaway. They're hitting speeds of up to 140 miles an hour. Maybe, just maybe, they'll tap the front brake a little bit. But for those of you that have never seen a flat track race live that are watching us on TrackPass right now, we're going to be in Sacramento next weekend, then take, I think, a week or 2 off, and then we are going to be at Charlotte for the season finale. You got to witness a flat track race live. And Springfield Mile is incredible. Like I said, unless you're here, you really don't get the idea of how fast they're going. Hitting speeds of 140 miles an hour. It's really amazing.
Especially if you're in the draft with somebody right in front of you, you can go even faster down the end of the straightaways. Top speed at the end, pushing 140. Dallas Daniels, a 3:7.123 will be our fast time so far. There's one more group to go, so he's not officially our fast qualifier. Chad Coast second, 3:7.479. Jeremiah Duffy, good solid run, 3:7.493. Ben Lau fourth, 3:7.535. Exactly the same as Pat Buchanan, 3:7.535. Barnes is sixth, Dan Bromley seventh, Danny Esslick eighth, Corey Texter, our points leader, back in ninth, so maybe they were trying something in that qualifying round. He was faster in practice, so Corey might be trying something. 31, Dylan Bell is 10th, and Shelby Miller is 11th right now. 11 bikes have taken time. We have 11 more to go. It looks like, 10 more to go, and then we'll be all done with qualifying. After one more session, we'll take another break in the action, give the teams a little bit of chance to work on their motorcycles. Then we'll come back with our semifinals, 2 for the Super Twins, 2 for Production Twins, 2 dashes, challenges, whatever you want to call them, the 4-lap races for $5 grand. And there are 2 main events. Second group pulling onto the racetrack. Don't forget, race fans watching at home, when this group is done qualifying, you will have to switch on over to TrackPass on NBC Sports Gold after this group. So this will be it for free on Facebook Live. We'll switch on over to TrackPass on NBC Sports Gold. Group number 2, 117, Jordan Harris. 96, Jesse Janish. 60, Nick Armstrong. 133, David Wiggin. 99, Kevin Stallings. 48, Trent Lowe. 15, Gary Ketchum from Tulsa, Oklahoma. The 13, Morgan Mishler. 38, Tanner Dean. And the 94, Ryan Wells on that KTM 790. Leader's got a little bit of breather, and now looks like Nick Armstrong trying to get away from everybody else. The 60 right there. Nick Armstrong trying to get away from everybody. A little bit of rubber's going down. It's interesting to watch the track go through the changes. There is the 13 of Morgan Mishler. Morgan's having a good season so far in the singles class, but the singles are not racing on the mile. They race the short track just on the other side of the fairgrounds. Got a ride on the Fancy Hines Harley. He's right behind his teammate for the weekend, 96. That is Jesse Janish. And again, we know Morgan's not scared to go up there and find the high line. He's just off the groove. I don't know if it's going to be the fastest line or not, but you know what? Morgan's not going to follow anybody. He's proven that time and time again. Down the back straightaway, a group of 4 riders trying to work together. The 96 of Janish, the 94 of Wells, Trent Lowe's back down the 48, and here comes the 13 of Morgan Mishler. 4 riders trying to work together. Jordan Harris currently in the 13th spot. Nick Armstrong in 13th. Now Jordan Harris moves up to 11th, so he's the fastest on the track right now, but he's in 11th. Dale Bell, who's currently in the top 10. He was in that first group, so nobody's broke into the top 10 in this group. Mishler now up to 12th on number 13, Harley-Davidson. Janish goes up the racetrack, taking Mishler along with him. They got by the 94 of Ryan Wells in the KTM, so they'll all try to work together. They'll get in the same line down the back straightaway. Looks like they're kind of too far spread apart to work together, I guess. Thought that might have been the plan going into today for their qualifying session. 4 riders on the front straightaway coming across the start-finish line. Here comes now 3 riders working together, Janish and Morgan Mitchell right there on the back tire. On the front straightaway, now possibly they can work together. Here on the front straightaway, 96 and 13 on the Benson Hines Harley-Davidsons. 13 up the inside, goes by the 96 of Janish. Gets back in line. Try to work together. The 13 will actually break the air from the 96, so he'll be able to sneak up right behind him, and then hopefully near the end of the straightaway, pull up the inside and use the draft pass. It didn't work for him that time, so they're working together, maybe just try to stay in line, keep the wheels driving. Here they come off of turn number 4. Another group of riders trying to work together. The 133, David Wiggin, just got that Harley-Davidson before the New York round. David Wiggin from Tulsa, Oklahoma's got him an XG 750. Right behind him, Gary Ketchum, another Tulsa, Oklahoma rider. So maybe the Okies are going to work together. 15 and the 133. On the back chute, the 15's got all kinds of tail wagging. Maybe it starts at the front with a head shake. Could be a wheel or a tire not mounted center, not balanced properly. Could be a number of different things, but the 15 definitely has some either head shake or tail shake. It's hard to see from the backside. Definitely looked like the tail was wagging the dog down the back straightaway. White flag is out. One lap to go for Jordan Harris and the rest of the gang. Jordan currently in the 12th spot right now. Right behind him is Jesse Janish, the 96. Morgan Mishler is the quickest one on the racetrack. That's the 13 rider. Mishler in 11th. Last lap qualifying just about going to wrap up here today at the Springfield Mile. Again, if you're at home, switch on over to TrackPass on NBC Sports Gold. We're just about done with the free stuff out here today. Jordan Harris running the bottom of the racetrack down here in 3 and 4. Looks like it's working for him. Checker flag is out. 60 bike was way out front. That's Nick Armstrong. 3.8.612 for him. Nick Armstrong currently 16th. Jordan Harris was out there in 117. He is 13th. Morgan Mishler was the fastest one on the track in that group on the 13 bike, currently 11th, 3.8.145. So that means Dallas Daniels will have quick time here today in the Production Twins class. It's only his 3rd race in Production Twins, and he's already getting comfortable, just like he was born on a twin out there. Dallas Daniels, he is our singles points leader. 3.7.123 for Dallas Daniels. He is our fast time today, so he'll be on the pole for today's first semifinal and tomorrow's semifinal. Again, these times are recorded for both days, and qualifying is all done for both days, actually. Dallas Daniels is the top spot. Chad Coase is 2nd. Jeremiah Duffy is 3rd. Ben Lau is 4th. Pat Buchanan is 5th. Ryan Barnes is 6th. Dan Bromley is 7th. Danny Eslick, 8th. Corey Texter